that's just harsh. It just ends. There's no fade out for that. It's just.
Music over.
The music section has finished, and Jasper's just arrived. So that's impressive.
Yeah, he came in. He briefly. I think he went back out again because I think he wants to make an entrance into stream.
Okay. I don't know where he is. He's been outside and it's raining, and he hates you all. So there you go.
Except you, Anthony. He likes you, Anthony. Which, is a reason for everybody else to believe that Anthony is sus.
Because Jasper believes in Anthony. Like Mix and Santa Claus. Right. Well, that was me doing a quick audio test since you're supposed to be testing the audio.
I was going to wait till you played a video to test the audio. I trust that our
Well, I don't know because this is a random setup that I haven't seen before. Great. I was disconnected from chat. Right. I can watch it in the main window. Yeah, Mix believes in Santa Claus.
Of course he believes in Santa. Santa Claus is real, and everybody knows it.
And Mix sits on his lap every Christmas time. Sorry, Mixmas time. Okay, so presumably enough people are here now for us to give this some context. Jasper's Wheel of Torment. Hey, look at that. A notification has just gone out to tell people we're live. So if they didn't catch the intro, well, then they didn't catch it.
If you're not here for the intro, then you missed the intro.
It's true.
It's not much we can do about it. That's on you.
Well, that's the whole reason we have the loading section at all is because people complained a lot that they weren't notified that we were live, or that immediately an advert started playing. High 10. All this talk about Jasper getting you a bit on the jealous side, is it?
No, he just wants some of my tequila.
I don't think he wants tequila, but he will have something that tastes nice.
Well, I don't know. The stream hasn't spoken up or anything.
Hey, Ito.
Hey, Ito.
Ito showing his face around here. Tisk, tisk, tisk. That's a yay. For 10, I mean.
And just from Anthony. You know, Jasper disapproves Anthony.
Go get 10 some of his chicken feet for him to crunch on stream while we try and go through this. Like I said, I don't know how many more people will be showing up, but well, if you missed the intro, you missed the intro, I suppose. Context for Jasper's Wheel of Torment. As you may remember, oh, there he goes. He's got his tasty. We inflicted Rem Lazar on you all.
Yes.
Munch, munch, crunchy, crunchy, munch.
SOS.
And SOS and other random stuff. It's just the random internet videos that we either... being that this is our stream, anytime my mind lies... puts out a line for me to say, it's the best way to put my script in my head. It's like, asterisk, if you're about to say come across, just keep in mind who your audience is. So whenever there's a random internet video we come across, giggity, 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 asterisk, asterisk, giggity. We're like, well, we should probably, show this to them at some point. Well, we went digging for random and stupid old VHS crap, and that's a rabbit hole you don't want to go down ever. Holy shit, there are thousands upon thousands. So we just had like this never-ending list of things we could watch, and I was like, well, we don't know what any of these are, and we don't honestly have time to sit and go through them and figure out what's decent or what's not. So we decided, well, why don't we outsource that pain and torture? And we picked a random 9. We stuck them on the Jasper's Wheel of Torment that people are familiar with. We use it on stream sometimes to tickle Meeks or whatever. Then we forced Danny, Meeks, and Ito, all of whom daftly told us, during lockdown they're lonely and bored. And I was like, haha, I've got the perfect cure for that. And we forced them to choose these videos pretty much at random from the wheel, since the wheel technically chose for them.
You spin the wheel, you choose a video.
You watch the video. Unfortunately, we obviously had to be there too, so we have seen some horrible things. But
no 10 face? 10 face!
There you go. Delayed 10 face. It's because I don't have that open. If that was open, you would see it live. And because we don't want to die, we set the limit to 3 videos, and each Sunday from around 9 till midnight, we dragged these feckers in, and we had them pick a video each. And at first, it was quite impressive that they got the one they wanted, so I had to make some tweaks to Jasper's wheel because it wasn't being
Jasper's
random
not
enough.
accepting people getting what they want.
No.
It's a wheel of torment, damn it.
And we weren't allowed to know anything about the videos beforehand either. And this is where the torment came in. Some of these videos are like 2 hours long. And
so bad.
So boring or so bad. The title is all we knew about them. And some of them had some fantastic titles. So 9 went on the wheel. We've been doing it for about 4 or 5 weeks now, I think. Giggity. And we picked 3. Those 3 are removed. We have Danny, Meeks, and Ito pick which was the best, which then went into a pile of things we will show on stream.
And the idea is for stream to sort of select
the actual winner. All these won their own wheel spin, so they're all quote winners. We'll watch them on stream. You'll all vote on which is the best of the ones we watch on stream, and that one will be the actual winner. Now, the reason I said that Ito didn't really add anything is because Danny and Meeks have won multiple weeks each, and Ito has won nothing.
Basically, if Ito picks a video, it's
going to be shit. It's unfortunately going to be shit. Ito, we're not watching the losers, so the ones that we watch, and as bad as they're going to be, remember they're the winners supposedly. But Ito seems to have a knack of picking the crazy religious video.
Not just crazy religious, though. The crazy dull religious video is like, this is boring.
What am I getting?
2 hours on evolution that, like, for the first 10 minutes, I was
No, not
science.
2 hours on evolution. 2 hours on why evolution is a lie, and all the quote evidence that disproves evolution without any evidence, including people who study it supposedly turning their back on it in Vox Pop interviews.
Yeah, it was a load of crap.
Go on it.
But it was interesting for about 10-15 minutes to watch.
It was 2 hours long!
I said, for the first 10-15 minutes, it's interesting to watch how they spin their things by getting actual scientists in and then quoting them out of context, and you can see them chopping and changing things around that they've said.
It was shit, Cisco.
And then sprinkling Christian scientists in amongst actual scientists to a point where it looks like it almost lends credibility.
But it doesn't, because it was all shit, and what they were saying was bollocks. The best part was the geologist, who was a full creationist and Christian, who believes that the world was only about 6,000 years old, so he had to lie when he was finding rocks that people said were over millions of years old.
Yeah.
It was all bollocks. It was stupid. It was crap, and it was bollocks. But not just that, Ito also picked the weird Mormon and his daughter one. That was another crazy religious one that Ito got.
Oh, yeah.
In that one, we had no idea what was happening at all. A guy is looking at his newborn daughter and then has a freak out because what if she asks him what the meaning of life is? And then, for no reason at all, he flashes forward to his daughter becoming a prostitute and being a smack addict, all because when she was a little girl, he thinks she might ask him what the meaning of life is, and he says he doesn't know. So he has to go off and find out what the meaning of life is, and what the meaning of life is to join the Latter-day Saints, Jesus Christ, and become a Mormon.
Basically, if you have questions we can't answer, sorry, if you have questions you can answer, you can find them in this book, and therefore you can give an answer, even though the answer is bollocks. It's better to be able to give an answer that you have complete
Or your
faith
daughter
in
will
with
become
no
a smack
evidence.
addict.
Yes, that's the
She will
only way.
become a prostitute, and, you know, that's the way that works.
Anyway, that's a very long introduction, I think.
It needs the introduction. Have you seen the picture? People are going to look at that and go, what the fuck?
But yes, so we have suffered through hours and hours of painful,
Bollocks and
videos.
boring nonsense.
and we're bringing you the best.
Air quotes! Air quotes!
Some of it we did genuinely laugh out loud at. There's a whole bunch of this that was genuinely funny.
Yes, it is. So, it is all, well, I say all funny. So, a lot of it has a lot of humour. Now, let's take a quick look here. We have 5 winners. Apparently, we've done 5 weeks of this bollocks. Meeks, Danny go the winners of each week. Ito, sadly not mentioned. If we get this far and this far, Ito's in for a bad time. We get that far, Ito's in for a bad time. Okay, so I'm sure you could, Matt, but we have so many.
If you want to suggest a few, we can put them on the wheel at some point.
Although, like I said, I don't know.
We don't know how this is going to go. This might actually be.
We don't know how long
really
this will go.
awful.
This might be the worst idea to make people watch these.
But
Could get banned. I don't know.
In our defence, Rem Lazar and SOS were both well received.
Giggity.
So we're hopeful. We're optimistic. And we wouldn't be bringing this if we didn't think it. Well, at least it's interesting. I suppose it's different to.
It's different. I'm sure it's all fine. Now, please, whatever you do not start auto-playing, like I know you're totally about to do. Oh no! Well, you know what? One thing I have noticed going through the winners, weirdly, the winners were all pretty much the shortest videos of their evening.
With the exception of the first.
No, because it was the shortest video of the first evening.
That's true. That is true. Was the first Jasper's Wheel of
Was a
Torment
very
was-
rough start, and we were like, we're never doing this again. We're never doing this again.
And
But
then we
the
did it again, 'cause
the
we're
pandemic continued, and some people were bored and lonely, and we made them feel worse. So that's fine. That's a threat, straight up threat from Ito. Right. Well, I can't keep up with chat because I keep getting disconnected from it. So that's just going to be a secondary monitor for me to make sure that.
Well, I should probably put my headphones in, ready to check the sound on this video then.
Yeah, I
We're
can't
ready
be
to start off the first one.
can't be sure of what the audio is going to be like. Hopefully, it'll be fine.
Are you introducing the video, or are we just going to hit play?
We'll leave that up to the winners. Danny, Meeks, should we introduce the video, or should we just let them watch it like you had to do?
Danny says just hit play.
Because Danny is in a mood.
He says let them watch like I did, so.
By let them watch, he means let them suffer, right? That's...
Well, the only thing, we can give them the name.
No.
No? Okay.
Nope. They can figure it out as they go, like everyone. Well, I mean, they'll figure it out fairly quickly. You get ready on that audio testing because this could be very loud. And
I've just realised there's no audio at all coming through my headphones.
then I'm going to stop pressing that button. How about you sort your headphones out first, mister? Well, you keep clicking the same thing over and over. You're barely into your alcohol. You can remember how things work. There you go. See? Anthony had faith in you all this time. Alright. So you ready now?
Yes.
Because this is going to be a bit of a juggling act and it's going to be all over the place. Here we go. One hopes. Bucket of gems. Everybody clap.
Hi, I'm Gene Ray. I'm a 72-year-old retired master electrician, inventor, and a homemade philosopher. I have made a major scientific discovery, possibly the greatest scientific discovery of humanity. It's called nature's time cube. It's a harmonic time cube. It's 4 days simultaneously in one rotation of Earth. Earth actually has
It's about as loud as
equators.
it'll go.
We're taught that it has one equator. According to the drawing here, this circle represents the outer equator. You have two. It goes across the north and south pole. Where they meet at the north pole, there's also one on the opposite side called the south pole. Where they cross the equator, you have 4 different time zones.
Yep.
Midday, midnight,
Time cube.
sunup, and sundown. And everything, it seems to have 4 corners. Everything created has a top, has a bottom, and it has 4
We may regret
sides
this, but
that operates.
50 minutes of this again.
This could be a top of a room, it's a top
I'm
of the
looking forward
solar
to
system,
understanding
top
it
of
the
the
second
earth.
time around.
This is the bottom, but these do not move. The 4 corners rotate inside, like this room. Take this room, you have 4 corners. A human can only exist in one corner at a time. They can only experience one corner.
We know that because every time we
This is
send
midday,
Matt to the naughty
this
corner.
would be midnight, this is
It's the only
sun
corner
up
he
and
can exist in.
sundown.
Obviously.
Like midday would represent like the light rays, midnight the dark rays, sun up the Indian, and sundown the Asian. As they rotate, each corner becomes a square itself. In other words, it's like a time cube. If you put a timer inside your cube, you have a top, a bottom, and you have a front and back, left side and right side.
It's time cube,
The
Anthony.
dimensions of a
What don't you
cube.
understand?
If you put a timer in here, like a pulsating heart, you become a time cube traveler. We have been
This is put
mistaught
the heart in.
that the Earth only
Yes,
has
a
one
pulsating heart
equator.
fueled by
Actually,
time
it
cube
has
traveler.
the 3 equators, and it divides each hemisphere into 4 quadrants. Now, as it rotates, each quadrant becomes a square itself.
Now, Meeks, you understood all this,
And
right?
after the
You were well on this.
after you divide it
You were well
into
up
the
on your
4
time
quadrants
cubeology.
of 4 quarters or 4 corners, that's all it is. 4 is the primary number of the universe.
4
After
isn't a
that,
primary number.
You start dividing each one of these. You can't go above 4. 4 is
4 pixels. It all makes sense.
4
Cisco.
rotates to 16.
You can't go
4
above 4
divided by 4
pixels.
equals
Time
16.
cube confirmed.
It's same as you have 4 big digits. Some people say you have 10 digits. You really have 4 large digits and 16 small digits. Everything is a 416 principle. This is the
You
sun,
have 16 fingers, Cisco.
and we see the 4 primary numbers, but in one rotation of the Earth around the sun, with the 4 seasons, it creates 4 simultaneous years in one rotation. We're taught 1.
What?
And you
4
need
years
to know,
per year, so it's good, get on
even
board.
the human metamorphosis has 4 stages. It has the baby stage. The baby dies, becomes the child dies, becomes the parent, and the parent dies, becomes the grandparent. Humans do not recognize that. Humans do not recognize the stage of
Those
children.
are very long fingernails.
Say
and
children
I've noticed
are
that the first time
contingent
around,
of
and it's not
adults.
disturbing.
But actually, only the baby is born. The child evolves from the baby. And so, if without
Children-
recognition of the
Just like Pokemon.
4
Yes.
stages of human
You evolve
metamorphosis,
into
that
different
adults do not exist. Adults
stages.
are not born. They are not created. Therefore, without recognition of the metamorphosis, only the adults are extensions of the baby. Adults are nothing more than big babies. Now, this 416 principle also exists in the Great Pyramid. You had the.
Now, a Great Pyramid is not a cube.
We got another sheet here. I have a picture of the Great Pyramid, and it has this indentation right here.
I've got a
under the
picture of the
nose.
Great Pyramids.
The mother side of the corner and the father side of the corner. In a lifetime, the human goes around the 4 corners. The baby, the child, the parent, and grandparent. Humans do not recognize that. They do not recognize the 4. Actually,
4 corners of a
if
pyramid?
you had 4
Yeah,
grandparents.
but the mother and the father
Each
side.
of them
so
had
keep
4.
up.
Each of them had 4. If you're going backwards toward your
Start breaking it
ancestry,
up at the start
within a
of
few
this.
hundred years, you'll have more ancestors than there are humans living on Earth. Everything is divided by 4. There is no entity in the past because it's divided by grandparents and so forth.
There are no entities
entity
in the past
future
because they are divided by
because it's
grandparents.
divided the other way going through grandchildren.
Now,
The children,
Danny, you're
grandchildren,
the
great-grandchildren.
mathematician
There's
here.
no entity there. The
How do
mother
you
and
divide
baby
by
are
grandparents?
the same age because there is no mother until the baby's born. Once the baby's born, the 2 parents represent the present time. The baby represents the future, which is 16 or 20 years behind. The grandparents represent the past, who are 16 or 20 years ahead. Now, what we have to do, we have to recognize the
What
value
happens
of
when you hit
the
64?
compare the value
Because
of the
you're
self,
16
the
years
family,
ahead,
and the
you-
community.
You're out of his numbers.
Once a child goes into school, it is empowered as a self. And the self is empowered above the family.
When it goes to
Family
school,
4 and the community Q.
Oh,
The family, the individual or the
individual,
self
family, and community.
is not the true body, for it cannot procreate alone. The family is not the true body because it may create only offspring of a single sex. The community
What?
is the true body because it has a near
A
equal
family
number
can
of
only
both
create the
sexes
offspring
of
of a
all
single
ages
sex.
as in perpetual life.
so it's not the true body.
Just as the flock of birds has flown north and south for eons, the self,
So anybody who's had
and
both a
it's,
son and a daughter is
the
lying?
self is a cell of the family, and the family is a cell of the community. The community is the true body. We've destroyed all the communities. We have neighborhoods of strangers without any moral allegiance to anything except themselves. And the minute a child steps into a school, it becomes a product of the under the influence of the state or the religion, and that destroys the family, and it destroys the community. We have no communities in this country today. You know, actually, if you
destroys
get back
community?
to it, your
Via
father was actually
religion
a
or the
fish.
government.
It was like they called a sperm. They swim upstream just like the trouts do. The salmon, it swims upstream
What?
and it fertilizes the egg laid in water. Humans originate, they come out of the water just like a frog does, evolving from a tadpole. But we don't recognize that. We use the human
Why
body.
wouldn't
We have treated the human body as
just
a form
ignore
of
it.
God. But actually, when the human is cube, have the top and bottom, front and back, and two sides. A human only moves in one direction. A human can only move from corner to corner to corner to corner in a lifetime or whatever. You move. The human cannot move 4 different directions. Earth moves 4 different directions simultaneously. It moves towards midnight, sunup, midday, and sundown. 4 different directions simultaneously. And that transcends any religious powers that we have found.
Okay.
Fuck
religious
another thing
powers,
about religion,
basically.
I'm okay with that.
Jesus is a human.
Jesus.
Here's a picture of a human. Now, if
Jesus
you put a
cameo.
human mind in a tiger,
Whoa,
the
what?
mind has to respond to the form of the tiger. It cannot act like a human
What?
because it's not that character. If you put a God mind in a human, it has to act like a human. The human has limited abilities. If God puts himself in the form of a human, he would be limited. Now, you can see the same print of the pyramid here, the mother side and the father side.
I forgot how indecipherable this
bottom
was.
side,
Honestly.
left
Did
side,
he say
right
if you
side,
put a human in
front
the
side,
form of a
back side,
tiger, he will be a
form of
tiger?
cube.
Don't worry, Novus.
And
You're in
you
for
can
a
notice
treat.
this book has 4 corners. Seems like everything has
If you
4
ever
corners.
wanted a
Circle
guided
rotates
tour of that
in.
old
If you
website by the
cube
man
the
who wrote
sphere,
it,
you'll
It's
be
in the
able to
video.
you're in the right
understand
place.
Creation. Everything, it has the values of a cube. Now, I'm
Spoilers, but
Jesus
half the video
is
is him literally just taking you
Jewish.
through the
His father's
website.
Jewish. His heaven is Jewish. The Bible is Jewish.
What?
The government and academia
Did we suddenly get
It,
very
uh,
anti-Semitic?
that
Yes.
teach the Bible, they teach in Judaism. Now,
Money is Jewish,
my mother,
schools are Jewish,
I honor my mother for
education
my
is
birth
Jewish,
and my life,
everything is Jewish.
and she's not a Jew. I'm not a Jew. I have
What?
nothing against the Jew, but our system of a human having a divine power is erroneous, and it's actually it's a scam against children. The adults wrote the Bible, and the Bible exists against the adults.
Bible
and the
is a
children.
scam
The
against
religion
kids.
started back as in brainwashing and indoctrination with Santa Claus. When you connected giving gifts to the birthday of Christ, that's when the mind control started. It equates to an adult Santa Claus. It started with the brainwashing as a child, and it
What?
continued on. But God does not exist. Now,
It
God
started with Santa
created
Claus.
What?
a first day on earth. Actually, nature creates 4 first days. So nature would be much more powerful than an individual that created only 1 day. In ancient times, they never knew about
Nature
the
is
time
more
cube,
powerful than God because God
4
only made
simultaneous
1
days
day
and 1
and
rotation of
nature
earth.
made 4.
Today, if you went down to
What?
college a while back, they threatened to arrest me for coming down. They do not want to know the time cube. I went to Pinellas County Board of Education. They said
I'm
I sent them out the
shocked.
facts. They would
I'm very
arrest me.
shocked.
The
Colleges and
Homo-
universities don't want to know
nature's
about the time
cube
cube.
is forbidden knowledge, and it is not to be known, and nobody wants to know it. I got brothers and sisters, some of the highest academic degrees in Alabama. They say we don't want to know. So there is no law that requires a person to know or honor nature's time cube. Therefore, only thing I have
Cube-bitten knowledge.
is strong language. I call them stupid and evil. Educators are stupid and evil. They do not know the time cube, and they do not want to know it. I just recently returned from Georgia Tech. The students I taught with, they have
Don't worry,
already been
Matt.
brainwashed.
He was
They
invited
can
to
tell you
speak at
about
many
hundreds of
universities and
different
colleges.
gods. But if you have
For
two religions,
probably the
they're
wrong
both
reasons,
wrong,
but still.
because the right religion would not condone the
It
other
was
one.
more students for
So
shits and
all
giggles
our
than
religions are
for...
wrong. They,
Well, he put out
Christianity
like
is-
10
is,
grand for anybody to disprove his theories.
But then didn't accept any evidence that anybody ever saw.
Well, because it doesn't make any sense. There is literally no logic or sense to it. It can't be disproven because he'll just say no, there's 4 of it.
To justify the adult plunder of the natural resources that children will need during their lifetime.
It's unfortunately very close, Novus, to the end is nigh placard guy. Who can't believe people are so stupid and can't see it.
The child is the origin and the source of the adult.
And just believes everyone
we
ignorant.
cannot teach that. And no one knows that. They don't want to know it. It's forbidden knowledge. If you recognize childhood as pre-adult, then that would debunk the God as being debunked. God is actually a post-adult cloning of the adult image. And it works against
if you
the children.
accepted a child being pre-adult, then you will disprove God.
We get rid of the Bible. The Bible is the most deadly thing on earth because it predicts that the earth is being
we agree on that.
destroyed.
The Bible is one of the most deadly
and
things
the believers say, let's go ahead and destroy it. And it is being destroyed. Another thing, if the
Novus, you know they happen
Christians go to a
simultaneously.
heaven, which they claim to be a much better place, would it be a crime to kill them? I mean, if you increase the advantage? There's so much to think about.
No
but we
murdering
are
now.
not allowed to think.
Let's not
We are
stop
controlled,
pushing murder.
starting with elementary school. First time while a child goes to a school, to a teacher, we don't know the teacher, we don't know what the teacher is teaching them, but eventually over a few years, the child is turned away from the family. You cannot control, the family cannot control the child when he's under the influence of the outside world, which is his peers and the education and government. A family has no power, no influence over the child, and so it's not the. If you start a community, you will be destroyed because that does not follow outside influence. So if you start a community, it would be anti-government. And it cannot exist. The government cannot exist.
It
if you
would
had
as
all
well.
communities
These days,
in this
you start
nation,
any community, it's anti-government.
that would contradict the government. It would destroy the government. It's like the community power. It's perpetual, over and over and over. But when the government comes in, the only way the government can get profit is if we want you to turn your resources into profit to support the government. And we destroy trees, but we do not plant trees. Every human on earth should be planting more trees.
I can agree with that.
Is
Every
the
human on
earth
earth should
better
plant
off
trees.
with you? If overnight, when you go to bed, if you get up, if you find a better world, then you have improved it. But let's say if you go to bed and leave dirty dishes, in the morning you're going to inherit dirty dishes. If you clean your kitchen at night before you go to bed, you will inherit a better earth. We need to inherit a better earth.
Wash your dishes, people.
before we go to
If you've
bed.
got a messy
And what
kitchen,
we're
you're not
leaving the
inheriting
children
the earth, you
By
bastard.
destroying all the resources, what we're doing is we're leaving them a barren earth. But nobody cares. And that's one of the things we have to get into. The time cube requires responsibility. The adults have a Bill of Rights, but that is used to plunder the rights of children.
What?
Okay.
What?
Does the children
applies
have
to
rights,
children
or
too.
do the adults have the right to take everything that's from the children's future? Okay, we should change the Bill of Rights to incorporate the obligation to save a future for the children. Right now it's all Bill of Rights and we're destroying everything. Now that the forest and nature act as a reservoir of spirit, a human spirit. If you move into a farmstead and you start cutting down nature, and the humans grow in number, but when the people, the humans leave the farmstead, then the forest returns, nature returns and takes over the property again. If you kill all of nature, then you actually you reduce it's almost like killing children, because the future children exist in nature. Now, here's some books. The time cube incorporates relativity. So everything is relative on the time cube. Here's the theories of everything. The harmonic time cube is what they call a TOE, T-O-E. It's a theory of everything. It's really nothing in the universe that you cannot explain through the time cube.
So his time cube is a toe.
Oh.
This is Pie in the Sky, written by John D. Barrow, and he claims to prove that all our math is wrong and all our science is wrong. So the time cube supports his claim, and it's like this. It built
Sorry,
on
Danny.
quicksand.
All mathematics is
All
wrong.
math is wrong, Danny.
The time cube confirms that.
You're doing it wrong.
Stephen Hawking has.
Maybe that technically means Danny did win, can't Dan?
Has the Einstein mentality,
But it'd still be, he'd still have lost though.
teaches
even if it's
that
wrong.
time is an arrow, like a straight arrow. That's what most scientists do. But actually, the time is cube. It goes 4 different directions. It's perpetual, the time cube. The clockwise, people say clockwise. Actually, a clockwise clock has 4 quadrants, and all 4 quadrants move simultaneously.
I kind of would love to see Stephen Hawking's trying to understand what the hell this all meant.
It gives you 4.
Oh, he's got a time cube clock. That's amazing.
4 in a 16-minute quarter.
16 o'clock,
And
4 o'clock,
you can
8
take
o'clock, 12 o'clock.
416 down through the atom, up through the universe.
That's good.
With
That's
3s
amazing.
and 5s. It has to do with the
He would have had to
416.
have that, like,
Now,
commissioned. He would have had to have that made.
everything on Earth is created.
I mean,
between
trying to
the
keep
North
appointments
Pole
with him must be a
and the
fucking
South
nightmare.
Pole. Every human on Earth is created between
17
2
o'clock
sex codes,
on the
the
dot,
male and
please.
female. But we don't recognize that. Now, if you look down upon Earth above the North Pole, the Earth spins, say, into the right direction. In one perspective. If you look at the Earth above the South Pole, it goes in the opposite direction, like the female perspective.
The female perspective from beneath?
Each hemisphere is divided
also,
into 4.
Let's not
So
get
if you
misogynist now.
have 4 racial perspectives.
The world is still
white
turning in the
race,
same
black
direction.
race,
You've just changed
Asian
position.
race, and the Indian race.
No, because of
And
the
so,
time cube
as they
system.
keep rotating, each one
One
of those
quarter
that's
of you
that's the
is
4
seeing it from that
primary races,
direction.
and they are subdivided into different races. Every race
Oh no,
you
we're
have
getting into
a
races.
short
Oh no.
human, a tall human, and a wide one, a thin one, and so forth. Everything is always 4 and divided by 4.
Thin race, wide race, tall and
Here's
small race.
a population bomb. It's kind of an old book, but it's still being shown on TV. Now, let's take, for example, if Adam and Eve created 2 people, which leads to 6 billion people, how many people, or how long will it take for 6 billion to produce? And say in 10 years, how many extra people will 10 billion people create? We have no limitation. We just keep on producing. And one day we will be so crowded there'll be no food, and you have to, people will be eating each other. If you're familiar with Deuteronomy 28:53-63, the Bible says that God says, eat your own children under siege, even the newborn baby. Now, that kind of God is not my kind of God.
I haven't read the Bible.
And
I
another
don't
thing,
know if that's in
if
there.
there was a flood, which I don't believe in the Bible,
The
but
section
if
where
there,
God tells
in
you
case
to eat
there
your
was a
children if
flood,
you're under siege.
all the salt water would create the land where nothing would grow.
Doesn't
All the animals on the ark only live
It's
by
hard to say,
eating
there's
the
a lot of
other
crazy
animals,
crap in
same
there.
animals as on.
Here's the thing, I've
And so they
blocked
couldn't
most of this
exist
out.
that way.
I remember
And
going
the,
straight to the website and us just having a good
but
old laugh, especially when he starts
anyhow,
talking about how
and any God that
homosexuals
destroyed
can't be
all
because
the
it's not
innocent children
divisible by 4,
to get rid of a
Yes.
few bad
and that
people.
God
think is a real
evolved from
bad
Santa
God.
Claus,
I
and
remember-
all the
I
madness
don't-
I
there.
remember God of all
The,
I don't remember
according
any
to
of
the time
this.
cube, one race or one God cannot exist. If you
I must
got
have just
a God for every
blanked
corner
this
of the
out,
room,
'cause,
four
geez.
different for God for 4 different races, then you got to have them for 4 different stages. Yin and Yang just represent 2, well, they like 2 sexes, but they don't give the other races nor the other ages.
4
So,
genders.
The yin and yang is far inferior to the time cube.
I remember the Star
measure.
Trek species with
The 4 corners, for midday, midnight, sun up, and sundown.
They had 4 genders.
If you imprint
And
those
Andorians.
on here,
Andorians.
and in one
They had
rotation,
4 genders. Yes.
each one of those will
They-
become a
every-
square
so, like,
itself
They
and
had
have its
you know,
own day.
foursomes
In
with a
other
married
words,
couple.
the
thing.
4 corners revolve to 16 corners of 4 simultaneous days in a single rotation of Earth.
16 corners
Now,
of the
people
earth
say-
each day.
If you measure from one spot, it's 24 hours. But actually, if a human
No, Lot
stood
didn't. His wife did.
right here at this
His wife turned
point,
into a pillar of salt because she looked back when
then
she was told not to.
that same point is somebody else. And let's say this point is midday. That same point is somebody else's midnight. It's somebody else's sunup, and it's somebody else's sundown. This is a cubed Earth sphere.
But it's not.
Everything created
You just
has a top and
Put a
bottom.
cube of space
You
around
have a top
Earth.
of your head, you have a bottom of your feet. In between the top and bottom, you have a front side, a back side, a left side, and right side. The Earth has a top and bottom. It has the 4 corners, the front and the back. Well, the front, say, is midday, on the back would be midnight. The other 2 is sunup and sundown. You can change that to racial. If the races, if midday represents the light race, midnight the dark race, sunup the Indian race, and sundown
I
the
beg your
Asian
pardon?
race.
What?
As you rotate it,
The light rays, the dark
each
rays,
has
the
a
Indian
stages
rays.
of the
I think you said
human
race.
metamorphosis, like the baby, the child, the parent, and grandparent. What people do not know, the baby dies to become the parent, becomes the child dies to become the parent, and the parent dies to become the grandparent. That are the 4 stages of human metamorphosis. We're not taught that, and they refuse to teach it because that would
Because
contradict
it's mental.
the entity that they have created, they call God. So that, you take a globe and you put it in a room.
Uh-huh.
If you put this globe in the room,
Yeah.
both the room and the globe will have a top and bottom. Both the room will have 4 corners on the globe, but this globe rotates the 4 corners simultaneously. A human only moves 1 corner at the same time. Therefore, it has to go to corner to corner to corner. So that
What?
is another thing. At any point on the rotation of this cube, of this Earth, this sphere, any point of it travels at the same time. If you put a card table at the North Pole and draw a line from one leg of the card table down to this down to the circumference here at the equator, in one rotation
Uh-huh.
around, it would take, say, 24 hours here. It would take 24 hours for that one leg of that card table to rotate. The speed and the resistance here creates heat. That's the reason we're warm. And the almost still speed or the slow
Did you say
speed
the
at the
equator's
North
warm
Pole
because of
is so
friction?
slow.
Yes.
That's the reason things get cold.
It's rubbing
Now,
on the
if you
inside
say
of
it
the
was close
cube.
to the
so-
sun,
But I was trying to figure out
Earth,
the one leg of the
gets
card
further
table.
then
If you put a card table on the
but
North
it
Pole,
travels much faster on the backside. So
why
that
would it
is
travel
the-
faster on the
But
backside?
the time is
There's
is
more fun on the
constant.
backside.
As you distance is reduced, the speed is slowed. As you come down here, the distance is longer and the speed increases. But that's it's everywhere on here. It moves at the same time. Takes you 24 hours for the one corner of the card table to revolve. Now it's the
Just one leg.
what we don't recognize. There's 4 seasons on Earth, and each one of those rotate. So actually, in one rotation you have 4 to 16. You have 16 seasons in one rotation of Earth. We call it the 4 corners.
Yay!
The
website.
Great Pyramid.
Novus, you're up.
And this picture is half dark, half light.
Oh,
Now, in one rotation
Let's
of
get-
the 4 corners, each corner rotates.
This is what
to
the internet
4.
was
In
like
other words,
when it
the
first
416 principle. You have, in fact, from this point in one rotation, you have 24 hours of daylight. From here to 24 hours of sundown. Here you have 24 hours of midnight. Here you have 24
the
hours
day just got a lot
of
fucking
sunup.
longer,
I was about
sister.
to say,
There
oh,
are
God,
96
do you realise that means your
hours
work day is actually
countable
48 hours
within
long?
one rotation of the Earth, or the one rotation of the 4-corner pyramid. Now, who built the Great Pyramid? I'd say the same spirit forces that built the oceans, the mountains, and built Earth.
Spirit forces
built the Great
built the
Pyramid,
pyramids.
The Great Pyramid as a sealed capsule of perfect measure. When they first broke into it, it had no body. It had the coffer that represents the time cube.
When they first broke into the Great Pyramid, there was no body, there was just a coffin that represented time cubes.
Earth has 4 simultaneous days
Uh-huh.
within one rotation. Losing 3 days in each Earth rotation has retarded your mentality to stupid and education of evil. You do not have the mind or
Losing 3
education
days
to
has
envision nature's
Has
time
retarded
cube.
your mentality
People
to
say I'm
stupid
talking
and
nasty
education
or mean,
of evil.
but there is
And
no
an
law to
education
make
of
you
evil.
examine the time cube. My brothers and sisters say they don't want to know. It requires an obligation and to the
Mwah.
future of children. And people do not want to be obligated. They would rather ignore it. Now, they said Earth has one equator. This is
Okay.
one equator.
Okay,
A
one
nickel
equator.
has one equator.
But only
This
on the
would be
flat
2
Earth.
equators. This one is splits it and this one splits. Earth has 3. It has the horizontal and it has 2 equators to go up. And as the definition of a sphere, it has 3 dimensions. 3 dimensions would be like 3 equators: height, width, and length.
Well, how does
Now,
that
where these 2
make a
vertical
corner?
equators
But
cross
the
the
one with 2
horizontal
equators
equator,
still has
it
all
creates
3 of those
4
dimensions.
points of time, and in one rotation, each point has its own time cube, its own cube. Earth has 3, but academians say that Earth only has this single. This is like saying that Earth was flat, with the same mentality.
I love the fact that even Ray is belittling flat earthers. This is like saying the earth is fucking flat, guys.
The 3 equator, 4-corner Earth time rotates
Casting
96
shade
hours
from-
as a simultaneous 4-day
What is
cube.
it?
You were
Is it the
taught that
90s?
the Earth
It
has
is the
only
90s.
one equator, as if the Earth was
I
flat.
actually think this
You
was
were taught ignorance.
2000.
Creation has 2 sex poles and 4 corner races of humans.
Question mark? Oh shit!
Everything on Earth
Ignorance.
is created.
Creation has 2
between
sex
2
poles and
Every
4
Giggity.
human
corner
was
races
created
of
between
human.
2 sex
God
poles.
is cornered as a queer.
Now, which
What?
is proper to say my God, which is personal, selfish God, or
Thanks,
is
Gene
it
Ray.
our child's God, our family God, or
God
our
is
community
cornered
God?
as a queer.
The community is
Gene
the
Ray,
higher
Elton God.
power, but we speak of the self God. There would be nearly 6
Creation
billion
has 2
self
sex
gods
poles
on
and
Earth.
4 cornered races of human. Oh, here we
And
go.
the earth stood still. It would have a midnight, sun up and sundown. That's 4 corners. People say Earth doesn't stand still. The globe's,
We can't
this
see the
globe
globe,
stands
Gene.
still.
Don't bring the globe back into it.
and you can have four corners of time.
Oh no, get
This
back
is
to the
the
screen.
equator
Don't
here.
show me the...
This is an equator, and here's one you don't see.
Okay.
Now, in religion, what they have done,
No, that's good.
on the circle, now the two equators that go this way is like the cross. This is the cross of life. And what they have
The
done,
cross of life.
they've taken they removed the cross of life from the earth circle, and they created the cross of death that they put on churches. They worship
crucifix.
death. That's what worship the cross.
It's the cross
it's
of
a
death.
killing
They
tool.
took the cross
It's
of
used to
life
kill
from
people.
earth and
And
turned
that's
it
what
into
they
a
worship.
crucifix.
They need to take the cross of death and put back in this circle, and it will become the cross of life. It will give you the three equators, the four quadrants of which everything exists, the four legs of a horse, four corners of a pyramid, the 4 weeks of a month. Everything is divided by four.
The four legs of a horse. Everything is divisible by
I
four.
have
Okay.
forgotten so much of the right because he says everything is so fucking insane.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
And here's the time cube simultaneous 4-day creation.
Steady the cam.
If you see midday,
There we go.
it's equal to 1 here. This would be sundown, and it's equal to 2. Here's midday, and it's equal to 4. Midnight is equal to 3. As this rotates like a gearbox, each one of these rotate. And a complete rotation, you will have 1, 2, 3, 4 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, but there are different stages. And the different configurations. This is
What is the
1,
thumping
2, 3,
sound?
4.
What's happening in the
This
background?
would be like a 4, 3, 2, 1, and they're different configurations. But you have 4 different days. Just like an automobile body, when it goes 100 miles, each wheel goes 100 miles. The Indians worship one wheel. Actually, there are 4 wheels for 4 different races.
Don't set Cisco off with your countdown. Yay, there you go.
That's only
This is
1,000.
well for $1,000. They
went up to
want
10
disprove
grand at
4
some
days
point.
each rotation. It's impossible to disprove it. It's a pity that religious academic word is a crime against nature and enslaves children. Until word is cornered, all math is fiction.
Yeah, that Danny old math is
Until you corner
fiction.
word, math
You're creating
has
fiction.
no proper measure
Until
to it.
word is cornered. I don't know what that means.
Now here's the 4 corners.
Societies
This is Socrates up
Live here.
Clinton's here, and this is say Einstein at this point, Jesus at this point. In one rotation, each one would have their own day at their own spot. There'll be 4 different days. Jesus would have a separate day from Socrates. Each one of them would have 4 different days, a day of their own.
Okay.
The Socrates would have a midday, Clinton would have a sundown,
Clinton?
Einstein had a midnight, Jesus had a sunup. You rotate
Okay.
it 1 quarter, and it's when you rotate it 1 quarter, then that equates to 1 day, and then Socrates had a sundown and so forth, and once you rotate it 4 different quadrants, you have 4 different days in a single rotation of Earth. Now, Greenwich time is a lie. Your
Greenwich
midday is
Mean
somebody
Time
else's
is a lie.
midnight. Somebody else's sundown and even someone else's sunup. Do you know that time is a simultaneous 4-corner square that rotates to a 4-day time cube within 1 rotation of Earth? You are educated, stupid, and unable to know
Well, I think it's fair to
nature's
say
4-day
we've
time
had crazy
cube.
people for a lot longer
Very
than that.
few people
It's just
realize this.
they previously didn't
Oh.
have access to.
Here's
To share it
Greenwich
much.
time.
He's
Greenwich
debunking
time
Greenwich Mean
is like
Time. What?
horse, a four-legged horse running on one leg.
God evolved from Santa Claus.
And this was back
Childhood
when
stage is
adult-
forbidden.
the God is adult Santa Claus.
I
And
knew it was
evolved
coming, but I
from-
didn't
it
know
starts
when.
with the Christmas, when you're giving gifts to brainwash the child. And you cannot have a childhood stage. Humans do not recognize human metamorphosis. If you had a childhood stage as pre-adult, then that would debunk God. So therefore, you cannot recognize a
You can't have
childhood stage.
a childhood stage
And,
because that would
no
debunk
human
God.
has a right to believe wrong. Believing is 50% wrong. So if you
How
act
much longer has this got?
like religion is right, then if
So
I
10
said
minutes
that
left.
children should kill adults for ignoring the time cube, I mean, that would only be 50% right.
Let
But
whoever's
should
trying to get
children do it
out
because it's only
the
50% right. You should not act
Please
on
let
any
me out.
belief that's 50% wrong.
What the fuck
And
is
here's
going on
a
here?
harmonic time cube. It's like coming and going. You can see the different perspectives. Now, if you look at
Is that a
these,
spider?
That is a
each
spider.
corner here represents a day. That's each time cube. You can see the little,
Thanks, Dan.
not time cube, the hourglass, which represents the day. They go in 4 different directions. Each day goes in 4 different directions. But now, if you notice in the middle here of the 4, there is like a 4-bladed fan. It's kind of like the 4 poles of an electric motor. And this is what makes Earth turn, rotate. Because they go in 4 different directions. It has to do with the heat of the on the sun side of Earth and the cold on the back side of Earth. It creates the electrical energy there. And so that's
Creates electrical energy. Okay.
to note that the 4 hourglass corner days rotate in 4 different directions, creating a 4-blade motor power that turns Earth.
Ah.
Full blade
It's so
motor
much
power.
that
All good thing
academia
really,
does
really
not
good
even
mincing
know,
machine.
but they will not even allow you to know it. The,
Any human
Anyone
who claims to disprove it is an evil
I
liar.
said any human who claims to disprove this truth cube is an evil liar. Truth is unspeakable. It has the 4 corners, and no human can speak it. It's ineffable.
Media is evil for not informing their own
it
children
represents the
of the
square
greatest
and the
scientific
cube.
discovery
A
of
human
human
cannot speak the
metamorphosis.
truth. We speak fiction. It's that no genius has known math to achieve cubic wisdom. All our math is wrong. All our science is wrong.
Oh no. Okay.
Back to the old days of the internet where it took you
And this
like 10 minutes to
is
download
a
every
picture of
image.
Earth, a clock. It has 4 blades to it, and these 4 blades, other words, they divide the quadrants. The 4 quadrants move simultaneously, and the cube. And you ask people how many corners the cube have, most of them tell you 8, but actually it has 8 tricorners. That's what it has, 8 tricorners, which equal 24,
Right,
or 6
tricorner.
sides with 24 corners. And that 90, and if you rotate the 24 one time, it gives you 96. 96 is a perfect number. It should replace the 100%. And
Yes,
if you
it
use
should.
96,
Yes,
leave
it
the
should.
pi
Yeah.
3.20 would be the
96%.
perfect pi. But we
Yeah,
had to
and
change
notice how
all
many
our
pixels are
math
you allowed? 4.
to based on
Exactly.
the
It's
cube
the
math,
time cube.
the perfect math, which is
Makes
all
perfect
96.
sense.
It's all linked. Oh man, I thought more time had passed. It's okay, it's fine. We've still got above God to go. Take us above God, Gene. All the way, baby.
I do appreciate it's just a literal video of him reading.
No,
how
it-
many hits?
38,600 hits since
38,664.
the first of the year. And it's starting, I believe it'll go over 100,000 by the end of the year.
Above God. No. Hey.
I also like the rainbow email button.
Welcome to the site where Time
Christianity
Cube is
is
above
poison
God.
forced upon children.
Yes, it is.
The children, the adults claim that God did not create children, and adults claim that there is no childhood to exist. So actually, they are saying that children do not exist.
What?
When actually children should be honored for their metamorphosis when they change from the child to the adult. They should be given an honor, but we do not even recognize them. We say some other spirit force created adults, and we really condemn the children.
We don't recognize when a child
adults
becomes an adult.
are the worst
Because
enemy
the Bible
of the
says
children.
Adam and Eve were made as adults. I
Time
think is
cube
what he's getting at.
is above God.
I think.
God only created a single first day. In nature, they are absolutely proof of 4 simultaneous days. And the earth is not an entity. We say it's right. It has quadrants. Now, another thing is that the sun has molten lava on the outside. Here is molten lava inside the earth. We exist, the human life exists between this molten lava and the molten lava of the sun.
That would imply the sun was surrounding us.
And that it was molten lava.
God is ignorant. We do not want to know.
Get that tattoo. You want a new tattoo, sister? That's what you get. God is ignorant. Educators are stupid.
And it's like we do not want to know.
Fight the power.
Educators are stupid. In one rotation of Earth, there's 24 hours of midnight, there's 24 hours of midday.
No wonder you're tired, Danny.
And 24 hours.
You say you're
of
tired all the
sundown.
time. Well, I mean,
Educators
Jesus.
teach that from one point there is only one
Every
day
day is
in 24
96 hours long.
It's totally
Fuck.
wrong, and it causes the ignorance of the family and the community cubes. Human can only see only 1/4 of each. A human has a quarter value. And during a lifetime, you go through around 4 corners.
Each human is
The
only
baby,
worth a
the
quarter.
child, the parent, grandparent.
Okay.
Human God can see only 1/4.
There are 4 simultaneous days created within a single rotation of Earth. The teaching that Earth has only one day and one
Adult
rotation.
poison.
Adult poison forced on little children. Adults are villains of child nature. Their love for God is hate for children. Stupidity is taught. Education curse. What we're teaching the children, we're teaching them to destroy nature for profit. And one day we'll have no more nature to destroy. We are creating a barren earth. The barren earth is what's been taught in schools. Children are taught evil. A one-day earth rotation is an insidious evil. Losing 3 days within each earth rotation retards human mentality to a level of a primitive flat earth belief.
Yeah, fuck you.
Refuses to inform the
I
public.
do
Flat earthers.
appreciate
Time cube.
he
That
looks down
indicts
on
them
flat
evil
earthers to a
children.
significant degree. And this
When
isn't
do
like,
children
this is
die?
before flat earth
There are
became
no
popular.
30-year-old children living on Earth, so when do they die? They should be honored at death for their sacrifice and contribution to humanity. When are
What?
adults born? There are no 10-year-old adults living on Earth. So when are they born? Do adults evolve from death sacrifice of children? Absolutely they do. The child
Children
dies
sacrifice
to
themselves to
evolve
become
into
adults.
the adult.
And we don't
and
honour
it
that.
disappears just as the moth and the tadpole of the frog.
One day
moth and the
distorted
butterfly
adults
and
dishonor
the tadpole of the
children with the
frog.
claim that
One
a
day
queer
distorts-
God made adults
Distorted
first.
adults dishonor children with the claim that the queer God made adults first.
Question mark?
Queer God does not fit into a family form, nor does it fit into a community value.
Here's the thing, he read it as if it wasn't a question.
Love for God is the same as
He
hate
read it
for
as a
children.
question.
Love for God is
must
the same as
overcome
hate
this,
for
and
children.
we must
This must be
measure. That the only thing that
A little
humans
bit over
do not
a minute.
do not
We've managed
measure word.
50
But until
minutes
you
of it.
corner word, there is no truth in math. You put it
There
in
is
the
no
four
truth
corners,
in math,
and,
Danny.
you put word in one corner. It has
Math
a value
is a
of one
lie,
corner.
and so is
And
cake.
so, therefore, it is not an entity. It's only a quarter. Has a quarter value instead of a. In other words, it's a fourth of has a quarter value. And so that's the reason that you have to corner word.
This
and
is
the
just
same
gonna be a
way
hard
that God
ending,
cornered
isn't it?
God, or
I
cornered
think so.
himself. In other words,
It's
if
just
you're in
gonna
one
stop.
corner, there's three other corners that you cannot experience. Four corners simultaneously. You can only experience one corner. And when you are in one corner, there's a direct opposite of what you said in the other corner. And then you had the 2 middle sundown
Santa isn't
light.
God,
Those two
Meeks.
corners represent
God
going across a
evolved
neutral
from
line.
Santa.
And so, the other words that mostly your enemy would have the same right to say something as you do when it becomes their turn. So that about kind of wraps it up for time being.
And then
It
it
does
ends.
just kind of
It
end.
does just fade out. That's part one of a multi-part series, and I do not know why it's called Bucket of Gems. 4 cornered gems, I'm sure. That we saw that 5 weeks ago. I remember next to none of that.
I just remembered that Santa, that God evolved from Santa. That was about the only thing that really stuck in my mind.
And not the word cornered a queer god.
I don't know if it's a 4-part series. I do know we don't plan on watching any more.
No, one fourth of that was enough, or whatever. Is Meek saying there'll be a test? He hopes you all paid attention because there will be a test. Oh, gee, I need a drink. You'll be happy to hear that was the longest video in the
Yes.
videos you have to watch today.
The rest are much shorter and mostly musical. But I feel slightly bad for him because he quite clearly he's bonkers.
He's just nuts. Now, as we've already stated, Meeks and Danny won all. That was Meeks's win, and I don't remember what the other things. You know what? I'm gonna pull up the list. Oh, look at that. Over there. Don't know why it opened over there. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. So, did we see that in the first week?
Yes.
We didn't see that in the first week. 1, 2. What else did we see? Because we haven't seen that one. That was next week. We just watched that one. Was that one?
I don't think that was in the first week. Pagan Invasion. No, we haven't seen that yet.
No, you haven't watched that.
Was it not How to Get Revenge?
Nope. That was a later one. Oh, it may very well have been Danae's. Ah, right. Drinking. I'm drinking.
You're right. You need your salary quadrupled because you're working 4 times.
420. Well, I mean, no. Do you need it like tripled? Because
You're getting 1. You should be getting 4.
your
For every
work
pound you should be getting £4, so you want quadrupled.
$4. Let's not be racist now. Although there are only 4 races, one of them being Indian. I think there was Jewish, Indian, tall, and short. I don't know. Right. Should we move on to number 2? And Ito, I'm very happy that you're here for this because you'll remember this one. Well, does that dog want, dude?
He's scratching his ear.
Oi, ear scratcher. Very well. Is that enough of time cube? Well, go on then.
Problem is, Arctic, you'd have to, show them the time cube, and they wouldn't be able to get it. They wouldn't be able to understand because only Billy. No, it's not Billy Ray.
Jean Ray.
Jean Ray.
Prophet.
Can understand the time cube.
Quadruple prophet. Now, as I've said.
I think it's so much that he said changed throughout the video, and I honestly think poor chap.
On the one hand, you kind of feel a bit awkward because it's like this is somebody's grandfather, this is somebody's father who
Clearly
seems to have become incredibly confused, and you might say schizophrenic, because they truly believe this alternate reality of what they believe.
believes what he's saying.
And that's pretty much schizophrenia. So, on the one hand, you're like, that's not good. But on the other, he is so convinced of everyone else's stupidity and ignorance and, evil nature that he doesn't give a shit. He's right, you're wrong, fuck you. You homo Santa loving freak.
Was that aimed at Meeks?
Well, maybe. I mean, it wasn't, but it could have been. Right, Ito. Yeah, no emergency calls from work or anything, Ito. This one, Ito obviously loves. And we didn't torment him with it for weeks afterwards, because we wouldn't do that.
And it is nothing like the time cube, thankfully.
True that. Now, I don't know how loud this is going to be.
Oh, right. Welcome to Wormmania! Learn everything you ever wanted to know about worms. Featuring Mary Applehoff.
I never wanted to know anything!
With Billy B and the Brennan Kids.
Have you ever seen a leaf disappear to the ground? It was probably a worm. Yes, pulling that leaf down.
Dad, what are you watching?
I'm watching a worm drag a leaf across the ground.
Why are you watching a worm drag a leaf across the ground?
Because it's fascinating. So I thought I'd just have to write a song about it.
Fascinating?
Yeah.
Wait for it.
That's right. I couldn't agree with you more, Billy B.
Who said that?
I did. I'm Mary Applehoff, the worm woman from Kalamazoo, and I speak for the worms.
Dad, she just talked to us. How did she do that?
She is just
Call it magical, call it techno-history.
Let's call it following the script.
How 90s is
Our
this?
number one
It's
son
so
speaks the
90s,
truth.
it's
Oh.
amazing.
Anyway,
breaking
Dad,
the fourth
I need a
wall.
ride over to Jessica's. It's since James failed his driving test.
Well, excuse me.
That leaves you, Dad. Can I get a ride?
Sure, as soon as I get done writing the song.
How long is that going to take?
About a half hour. Or maybe shorter if you both help me.
Yay!
That's what you get when you have a songwriter for a father.
Have you ever seen a leaf that disappear to the ground? Was probably a worm, yes, pulling that leaf down.
What's the worm going to do with that leaf?
It's going to eat it.
Yeah, so when a worm needs our something to munch, it drags a leaf down into its hole for lunch.
Ooh, I like it. So what are we talking about?
Yeah,
We're talking about worms.
What are you singing about?
Whoa!
Singing about worms.
That is a rat tail and a half.
Tell him, worm woman.
Hi, Julian. We're talking about worms because they're so valuable to the entire natural world, and that includes people.
Prove it to him, worm woman.
Okay, meet me out in the yard. Where did she go?
Well, you heard her. She said the meter
I love
outside.
how
Yeah, you
limited
expect me to
budget
believe that?
this is. Like, this
Let's
is
go
so
find
low
out, come
budget,
on.
it's amazing.
Let's go, Jules.
And Ito was tormented with this for weeks, so now I'm glad that everyone else can torment him with it.
She is here! She has a really weird outfit on.
She looks like some sort of patrol guard.
That's not too far off, James. You might say I'm on worm patrol. I go where the worms go. That's where it's
You
wet
are on
and dirty.
worm patrol all the time, so.
Well, it's nice to meet you in person, Worm Woman. So,
Different kind of
where
worm.
are the worms?
Boom, boom.
We'll just
I
follow
always
the
know
worm
what they
sound.
What's the worm
that?
sign?
Yeah, what's worm sign?
Well,
Mary
come on over
Applehoff?
here and follow
Is that the
me.
name?
Yes.
Talking about worms.
When you look
Singing
closely,
about
you'll find these
worms.
little irregular piles of worm manure.
Yay!
This is a
worm
worm
poop.
sign, or what we scientists call castings. Some worms cast their manure on the surface after eating.
You mean they poop?
You got it. Worms are detritivores. That means they eat dead stuff and make plant food out of it.
Oh, I have a backdrop where I can show you how that works. Come on.
What?
Now, here's
I
my
made this
backdrop.
earlier.
It's a forest. Of course, the forest is made of trees, and trees are plants. And plants pull nutrients out of the ground up into their leaves. The leaves use the nutrients with the energy from the sun to make food for the plant. Then the leaves die and drift back to the ground. That's when the bacteria start to decompose those leaves, and that's when the worms do their job. The worms turn those rotting leaves back into nutrient-rich soil.
It sounds as if worms are nature's best recyclers.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, look over there. I'll bet we'll find worms under that bag of leaves.
Under that dead body. Talking about worms.
Look, there's a worm.
Hey, how'd you know there'd be a worm under here, Worm Woman?
'Cause worms love dark, moist places.
Look at that worm go.
That's because it's trying to get away from the light. And that's why I always use my red light when I look for night crawlers at night. Worms aren't as bothered by red light.
The edits are amazing.
So what are we talking about?
We're talking about worms.
So when that worm gets done with that leaf, like all animals,
Okay. Enjoy,
It goes in
everybody.
as dead matter like leaves and comes out as fertile soil.
So talking about worm poop,
I
Might sound rude,
but
but worm poop is important plant food.
So what are we talking about?
We're talking about worms.
Yeah, what are we talking about?
We're talking about
worms.
So worms are valuable because they poop a lot?
That's just one of the reasons they're valuable. Worms also aerate the soil when they move through the ground. That loosens the soil, helping the roots of all the
Ah,
plants
Ito,
breathe.
you're never getting away from this.
If it weren't for worms, we'd have compaction.
What's so bad about compaction?
Well, come on over here and I'll show you.
By compacting you.
When it rains hard on compacted soil, the water stays on top. When the water flows downhill, the runoff carries soil with it, creating erosion. Julian, will you please pick up that pipe? Worm burrows, like this
Don't
pipe,
hold it toward your
direct water
shoes.
to the plant's roots, where they can absorb it.
So
I
worms
love
are
the fact that the
valuable
ground
because
is
they're
wet
both
from where they
poopers
previously
and
had
plumbers?
takes.
Well, there's one more
His
thing
pants
the
are
worms
wet.
do
Look
for the
at look at him
soil.
below the knees.
This
Oh,
is a
okay.
worm observation chamber that I built in Kalamazoo. Scientists like me use
A worm
these to study
observation
the
chamber
impact
sounds
of
an
worms
awful
on the
lot
soil.
like, you know.
First, I
a
added
small
1 inch of
wanking
rocks,
room.
which is known as parent material. Then I
I'm
added
going
4
to my worm
inches of
observation
subsoil that
chamber.
I gathered at a construction
Well,
site
you
where
watch
they
other
had been
people.
digging.
Obviously. Voyeur
Next,
box.
I put in 4 inches of topsoil. And I topped it off with 3 inches of compost and leaves. This is known as the organic layer that
How
mimics the
dare
leaf litter in the
you, Ito.
forest. If
It's
I had left
amazing,
this
and
chamber alone for a
it
year,
was a
it would
clear
look the
winner
same.
from that
But
day's
I
heap
added
of crap.
worms, and things began to change. Look what happened in only 2 months. You can see how the worms are burrowing into the subsoil.
I bet you can.
After 11 months, the top 2 layers have been completely mixed, and the subsoil has even more worm activity.
Wow, the worms have really been busy.
Is it important for the soil to be mixed up?
Oh, I know the answer to that one. Just like us humans need a variety of nutrients to stay healthy, so do the plants. The difference is plants get their nutrients from the ground, not the grocery store.
I remember now, nutrients come from the dead material in the organic layer, but minerals come from the rocks and subsoil. When the worms mix all the soil together, all those nutrients can get to the plant's roots to help them grow.
Right.
Yeah, but won't the worms rip their skin when they move through that gritty soil?
Well, they line their burrows with mucus.
Oh, cool. Slime.
Worms secrete mucus as they move through their burrows to reduce friction and wear and tear on their bodies. Can you see how shiny it is right here?
No.
This is getting grosser and grosser.
So like a dump truck moving dirt.
And a plumber laying pipe.
The worm digs
I beg
its
your pardon?
hole.
Mixing soils of all types.
Because it poops.
Digs
Laying
holes
pipes,
and
Cisco.
keeps the ground loose.
Nutrients, air, and water reach the roots.
So what are we talking about?
Worms.
Talking about worms.
So what are we singing about?
We're singing about worms.
Oh, that was great. Now guess what? I have a surprise for you. I'll meet you in the kitchen.
What's she gonna do? Cook us some worms?
Ooh, I just got a great idea for a song. I'll meet you in the kitchen in a bit. See you later.
Okay.
On the off chance she is cooking you worms.
Uh-oh, looks like leftovers for dinner again.
No, these aren't for you. This is for the worms. I found it in your garbage can.
Don't go through our rubbish.
Disgusting.
Well, it is disgusting. You're throwing all these resources away that will end up in the landfill.
But what if we put them on the garbage disposal?
Well, that's just as bad. Then it'll be processed at the wastewater treatment plant, and that takes water and energy. What a waste when these things could be made into good, rich soil instead. Look at these things you're throwing
So,
away. Apple cores,
This is kind of like a
peels,
PSA
rinds, eggshells.
about
I bet the worms will eat
worms.
eggshells if you crush them.
Right,
Positivity for
Julian.
worms.
Here, let's measure
Please
how
stop
much
killing
waste
me.
is
Supposed to be
thrown
an
away
education.
just from breakfast and lunch.
Thing for kids.
Go put this
Specifically
on the
about worms,
scale.
though.
Yes.
Because she's the worm.
Whoa!
Well,
a whole pound.
my assumption would
That's
be
almost half a
that they were
kilogram.
like trying to make
Let's
a series, and they were
If
going to
that's
do the
1 pound
Brennan
for
Kids
breakfast and
series.
lunch, plus 1 more pound for dinner times 7 days a week times 52 weeks a year,
That's
Turns out to be
728 pounds a year.
728.
That's almost 330 kilograms.
That's a lot of waste. I mean, especially when you think about how many people there are in this country doing exactly the same thing. So how can we deal with it?
Haven't you been listening to Worm Woman? The worms will eat it. All we gotta do is throw it in the backyard.
Julian, we can't do that. You'll attract every animal in the neighborhood.
Oh,
So where can we put it, Worm Woman?
I'll show you.
whoa. What's this?
This is a worm bin. It's an aerated container. We'll
we
create
just
a
have to walk
habitat for
forward 2
worms
foot.
using newspaper and
2
soil and
steps.
water. The worms will feel right at home.
You mean we're going to have worms living in our house?
You got it.
His rat
Let's
tail
set
is
one up.
taped
First,
to
we'll
his
take
back,
some
Matt.
paper and shred it. Oh, that'll make great bedding. The worms will eat it, you know. Okay, Julian, now you can sprinkle some garden soil on there.
Sure.
Let's have these cups or glasses. Let's do it. Right.
And James, you can add enough water to make it moist but not soggy.
Moist but not soggy. Yeah, that's soggy. Yeah,
Good
that's
job.
definitely
That's plenty,
soggy.
I think. Now, Shannon, you can mix it up with this worm fork.
Okay.
While I stand here.
just facing the corner.
Facing the
That
wall.
was easy, but where are the worms?
Cool. How many worms you gonna put in there?
Oh, about 1,000. Oh, be careful, Julian. Don't mash it. It's fragile, you know.
So, what kind of worms are these?
Icenia fetida.
Icenia fetida?
That's a scientific name.
But you can call them redworms if you want. Here's a good example. The redworm on the melon rind has distinct stripes like a tiger. Redworms have a specialized
does?
job in the worm world, and that is to make compost. They have voracious appetites
Oh,
and love
Skywing.
to eat rotting
Poor,
stuff.
poor
You
Skywing.
mean like this food waste?
Well,
Sure,
Skywing
toss
has
it
missed
in.
the time cube, so
It's
he,
true.
he,
They'll actually eat our garbage?
Yes,
He's
that's
only gonna
right.
get one
and here's a look at what
quarter
your
of,
worm bin will
you
look
know,
like in about 6
a
months.
day now. Well, the rest of us have 96-hour days. He's getting 24.
bin. Worms like to eat soft things like this melon. As you can see, the only thing left on it is the rind. But since they don't have teeth, they rely on bacteria to break down the food before they eat it. I like to say, worms eat my garbage. But it's probably more correct to say, worms eat the bacteria that eat my garbage.
And as they eat up our garbage, we can use their poop, castings, as fertilizer in our garden. And it won't attract animals.
Exactly. See how the organic material has turned this into rich soil?
Yeah, quite a difference.
What's that little yellow thing?
That's a cocoon.
So what is a cocoon anyway?
Uh-oh.
Worms come from.
Things are about to get disturbing.
Adult worms produce them when they breed.
They breed?
Make babies?
Oh, so we have both male and female worms in this bin?
Well, in fact, each worm has both sexual parts.
They're both at the same time?
They're hermaphrodites.
Ooh, big
Look
worm.
on his
Hey,
face.
I pay attention in biology class.
Oh, so a hermaphrodite means the worm is both a boy and a girl?
Yes, in this case, it means that each worm produces both eggs and sperm.
Hey, Julian, hit me with some slow jams. Oh, darling, I love you. Want to go on a double date? Your bro or mine?
Pretty funny, James. Actually, night crawlers do visit each other's burrows before mating.
So, how do they mate?
Let me show you.
No!
When worms mate,
No,
they
don't
move
show
together
us.
and overlap, head to head. That swollen band, called a clitellum, secretes slime which holds both worms together.
Slime is so sublime.
Okay. Now, as the worms are joined by the mucus, they exchange sperm, which
Okay,
are stored in a
there's
tiny sac
there's
in their
just
body.
straight up
When do they make the
fucking on
cocoon?
the stream. Are we
After
getting
the worms
banned?
separate. Later, the clitellum
there
again
isn't a
secretes
penis
mucus that eventually
that we've
hardens
seen.
to form the shell of the cocoon.
And it's certainly not one that was bigger than 4
Like
pixels.
my clay ring?
Right. Your finger represents the worm, and this ring represents the cocoon. As the cocoon
Things are getting
slides down
very
the body, it
sexual
passes over the ovaries and sperm sacs where it picks up eggs and the sperm needed for fertilization. The cocoon then slips off the end of the worm, closing off on both ends.
Like this?
Exactly.
Just eat it,
And the sperm
please.
fertilizes the egg inside the cocoon. Let's take a look at the real thing.
No!
These are
No!
actual cocoons, about as big as a grain of rice. See how translucent they are?
No.
Does that mean you can see through them?
No, that means the light can pass through them.
Right again.
Worms, making worms. It's mating time. I said
Worms making
worm.
Sorry, making sperm. Never mind. I don't know the lyrics well enough.
Mucus flow, the mucus hardens, then the cocoon grows. Like a ring, it moves off the worm, gathering the eggs and the sperm of worms. Making worms.
Big orgies.
It's mating
Worm
time. I
orgies.
said worms.
Orgies.
Exchanging sperm, locked together with slime. The cocoon slips off the front of the worm.
Weirdly, I don't remember this song.
Eggs and sperm. Then the eggs are fertilized, and
I
the
remember it.
cocoon has little worms inside a worm.
Oh.
Making worms.
Worms making
Mating
worms.
time, I said worms. Exchanging sperm. Locked together
Sorry,
with
Skyway.
slime, I said worms. Making worms. It's mating time, I said worms.
My God, this song keeps going.
Exchanging sperm.
Ah!
Together with slime.
Stop it.
Now here's a cocoon after several weeks. Can you see the baby worms moving inside? Look at those segments.
Looks like some kind of alien.
Just the opposite, actually, given the fact that a worm spends its entire life in the ground. If ever there was a true earth creature, this is it.
Those moving bands are
making
segments?
Yes, sirree,
It's
Bob.
mating
Now,
time as it
this
worms.
See the beating blood vessels?
Making sperm.
And
I think that was the
big
lyric.
moment.
I think no. I think it was. I think Skyway got it right. Exchanging sperm.
Aw, now isn't that cute?
I don't know, Worm.
Worms
Calling them cute is
exchanging
kind of a
sperm.
stretch to me.
It's mating.
Well, I guess they've just wormed their way into my heart.
Oh, gosh.
Hey, that's why I'm the worm woman. Now let's take a look at how the worm uses hydraulics to move.
Let's
James,
take a
will you
look to see
please
how he
fill this
uses
spoon
mechs
with water?
to kill aliens.
Gladly.
What? What the fuck?
Humans, a worm's body is made of water and
I'm
muscles.
curious as to what he's
Like
filling it
this?
with.
I only see
Will you
bones.
fill
Joanne.
this for me,
Where's the
please,
muscle?
James?
This is muscle.
Gladly.
Bigger than any weightlifters, but it's definitely muscle.
You see, Julian's muscles are attached to his bones. A worm has no bones, but it does have two kinds of muscles. Circular muscles, which go around the worm, and longitudinal muscles, which extend the length of the worm. This balloon represents two segments of a worm's body.
That was a lot
and
of
my
cum.
hands are the worm's circular muscles. Just like this balloon, the worm's body is filled with water. Contracting the circular muscles squeezes the water into the next segment, forcing it to extend. The pressure created by contracting the circular muscles is called hydraulic pressure. Now let's take a look at a real worm using hydraulics.
Hydraulics?
Well, hydraulics is liquid moving under pressure.
Now let's see how a worm's longitudinal muscle works. A muscle works by contracting or getting shorter. In between contractions, it relaxes, getting longer. With the rubber worm, let's pretend that all the circular muscles are contracting,
She said
forcing
rubber,
the
right? That's not a real
longitudinal
worm,
muscles
good,
to
'cause that
relax.
shouldn't do that.
See how the head moves forward? Now, if the longitudinal muscles contract, what happens to the tail end of the worm?
The tail end moves forward.
Right. Now let's look at the real thing.
So let me see if I've got it.
Why?
The worm alternately contracts the circular muscles
it's
and the
educational.
longitudinal muscles, causing the front end to
See,
bulge
you
forward.
learn stuff
That's right.
apparently
You're
on
really
this
catching
stream.
on.
So what holds the front end of the worm to the surface? I mean, they don't have fingers to help them.
They don't have fingers, but they do have little bristles that act like hooks, sort of like Velcro. These bristles hold one end of the worm down while the other end moves. Let's take a look at some of the different kinds of bristles called setae that help worms move.
Okay.
Most of the worms in the northern United States and Canada
That's a
have
bad
4
dragon
pairs of
product,
setae
surely.
on each segment, like this one. Look at the difference in the
That
setae
certainly
on this
is.
worm.
There's a
Okay.
million setae, and they're all the way around the worm.
That's true.
That might get us
Worms
banned
from
from
Asia often
Twitch.
have this cetal
Yeah, that
pattern.
might,
We also
actually.
find them in warmer climates in the
Hey,
United States.
Somebody's going to be scanning and they're like,
Now, take a
whoa.
look at this one.
Cool. A worm with its own fish hooks.
I like to call this one bristlebutt, and it's found in tropical countries deep within the soil.
Yeah, it looks like the ultimate all-terrain worm.
But no matter what they look like, setae act like little brakes against the surface, holding that part of the body down while another part moves.
Through the darkness, under cover of the night, segment squeezing, CT breaking, it's a worm avoiding light. Relax and contract and extend the front end.
Oh no, this isn't as catchy as the other songs.
Break, please. CT traction, hydraulic action. It's the squirming worm physiology. Ooh.
I also think that setae may have another
Skywing,
purpose,
we've seen
although
this
it's never
before.
been fully proven. Doesn't it look as if the setae
Yeah,
are
yeah.
collecting food as the
This
worm
is our
moves?
second viewing.
This worm certainly seems to be using its setae like a lint brush to gather up all sorts of plant matter.
Moving through the darkness,
I can give you the link, Anthony, you perv.
squeezing, CT breaking.
He wants this for his own. What the fuck?
He just wants a clip of that kid going gladly.
Actually, Julian, a worm has no eyes and it doesn't have teeth, but it does have a mouth.
Well, how can they find their food if they can't see?
By sense of touch.
Oh, so kind of like when Shannon's reaching around the upper pantry for chocolate she's not supposed to eat?
I'm gonna kill you.
You're right on the money, Julian. Let's take a look. Here's the worm gathering food using its sense of touch. This worm is even making a hook out of its body to grab that piece of grass and pull it towards its burrow. After the grass begins to rot, the worm will eat the bacteria. Did you ever see how wide a worm can open its mouth?
Ito was furious about this film. Having to watch this again.
In the digestive tract, various organs process the food.
Oh, okay.
First, it's stored in the crop.
Lovely.
Then it passes to the gizzard.
I thought only chickens have gizzards.
They do, but worms have gizzards too, and that's what grinds up the food.
What?
Then
Well,
it's
then
on
they
to the
don't.
intestines,
What?
Where enzymes and
I thought
bacteria
only
break it down
birds had
further
gizzards.
So the
They
worm can
do.
get its nutrients.
But worms do
The
too.
stuff the worm can't use
Then,
passes
then
through the
worms.
intestines
Yeah,
and
then
out
birds
the
aren't the only
anus.
ones. But No, don't zoom in on the
Inside a
butt.
tube.
Don't want to see worm butt.
Yes, a worm has many parts. Worm anatomy. There are nerves and muscles too. Worm anatomy. 5 pairs of beating hearts. Beating hearts. Pumping blood with oxygen.
It's educational, people.
Then the blood returns again. Beating hearts.
I mean, I'd like it to stop now and go back to the other stuff, but
Beating hearts.
no,
Yeah,
it's going to show you this.
This is not as good as the original hit.
Anatomy. Like a tube inside a tube. Anatomy. Yes, a worm has many parts. Anatomy. Digestive tract for food. Anatomy. The mouth is where it starts.
Stop it!
The crop stores that gives a grind.
Why are we saying this again?
Intestines go to the behind.
Stop it!
They paid a lot for that animation, damn it, and they're gonna use it twice.
Anus!
That's the toothless mouth. Anatomy. Like a tube inside
Anthony's
a
gonna
tube.
clip that as well, just you going, anus.
Yes, the worm has many
For his
parts.
personal private use.
Anatomy. There are nerves and muscles too. Anatomy.
Is it, were the lyrics there like a tube inside a tube?
So I bet if the worm sees something and wants to eat, it opens up its mouth and snaps at it. Worm bite!
Oh no.
I love the obvious cuts of the two of them standing there.
Instead of just having them continue to look the way they were. Alright.
Bum, 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 bum. Jules, what happened?
He just learned a lesson in
You got
hydraulics.
pissed on.
Oh, James.
James, just wait until you go to sleep tonight. You're gonna wake up without a million worms in your bed.
No, go dry off, Jules. Go ahead.
Listen, Dad, I
God
really do have to
damn.
go to Jessica's. We have to leave now.
I just kept on doing the worm song. You guys want to hear it?
Gee,
Alright, how
I'd
much
love to,
longer
Billy
has this
D,
got?
but I've got to go find the
Go.
world's
2
longest
minutes.
worm. Bye now. Have fun with your new worm
See you
bin.
later. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Have fun with your worm bin.
Dad, we have to go right now. You promised.
But Jake, how about...
I just remembered. I've got something important to do.
I don't get no respect around here.
Boom, boom. Back to the
Have you
single.
ever seen a leaf disappear to the ground?
It was probably a worm.
Yes,
I'm
pulling
dragging
that
that
leaf
leaf
down. So when a worm needs out something to munch, it drags the leaf down into its hole for lunch.
So what are we talking about?
We're talking about worms.
So when that worm gets done with that leaf, like all
We clearly don't know
animals,
this verse.
it poops for relief. So talking about worm poop might sound rude, but worm poop is important plant food.
Because it poops.
Digs holes and keeps the ground loose.
Nutrients, air, and water reach the roots.
So what are we talking about?
We're
Talking about worms.
So what are we singing about?
We're singing about worms.
Ooh, I like
Ooh, says the worm woman apparently. Ooh. Alright, for people in the US, to order your own copy of Wormania, please call 616-327-0108. It may and or may not be a porn line now.
Or possibly a porn title, Wormania.
Your next story has to be entitled Wormania.
No.
What am I talking about? I'm
We're talking about worms.
So what are we singing about?
We're singing about worms.
You will never, ever be free of it, Ito. Wormania will follow you. Now that was Danny's pick or selection, or the one that he landed on, which won him that one. I don't remember the other things from week 2. Oh, I do. As one of them we were considering showing people because of the salt at the end, which was hilarious.
Yes.
But
yes.
I don't know. Maybe in the future, because
you couldn't show all of it because we couldn't even watch all of it.
No, we could not watch all of it. The beginning was hilarious, badly low budget, and all the rest of it. It went on for 4 hours, even though it was only a 20-minute video, and then the last 5 minutes were back to being hilarious.
Yeah, it was painful.
Was singing about worms. Right, should we move on to whatever the hell the next one was? I'm still not sure.
Yeah, well,
it was an experience where we spent the entire video trying to figure out exactly what it was about.
I get the feeling that some of the Americans in the audience might recognize this.
Well, I would fucking hope so, because we didn't have a fucking clue.
It's definitely not something that got across the pond, that's for certain.
Talking about worms. You see, it's not leaving now. I cannot unhear the entire of worm poop.
Well, you've got new music to.
I will get that song, and how's it going? Maybe tomorrow. Maybe the stream will start with the worm song.
When a worm needs something to lunch.
Munch.
Ah, damn it.
Munch.
Messed it up already.
Talking about worms. Mary Applehoff, or whatever her name was, she may have passed. I don't know. That was 95. She was middle-aged to mildly elderly then.
Yeah, I mean, that was...
Boom, boom, boom.
That was quite a while ago. And just for Skywing's benefit, basically we made Danny, Meeks and Ito watch random videos, and then they picked
torturous
a winner.
Videos.
Torturous old videos. Then they picked winners, and you guys are watching the winners, and you're going to pick the ultimate winner.
I was going to say, you're watching the best of them. We watched nothing but shit.
You weren't there for the pain of 2 hours on Christian evolution theory.
Oh Christ, that was awful. Right, let's see how loud this one is. Boom boom, and maybe the Americans can explain it to us, because we didn't know. Nope. Oh. A Rem Lazar home video presentation. I still don't know what it is.
Yeah, even though we watched it, we don't know what it is.
Or who he is.
Well, I guess originally I thought, that I think everybody wants to be the fair-haired kid on the block, and I just felt that we weren't the fair-haired kid on the block.
Why he is? We spent the entire video going, what is this? And the best thing we could come up with,
and I kind of like that.
Semi-spoilers, is that it was like an X Factor from the early 80s or something, but we were wrong, and we still don't know.
Good attitude, a person that gets knocked down and gets back up. To me, it's the American dream. It's what it's all about. It's the
American dream.
A little bit, but overcomes it and
hint
makes
number one,
happen.
apparently.
I preach attitude. I
it
don't
is
think you can do
the American
without
dream.
A good attitude. The worst, if you got a good attitude, you got a chance. If you got a bad attitude, you got no chance. So we try to keep things positive. We try to, go in that vein. And to me, that's what Grabowski's are all about. You look at the teams that win, and not necessarily are they the most glamorous teams in football. There's a lot of glamour teams in football that go out there and everybody looks fancy, and they got those pretty clean uniforms and the pretty white shoes, and they look very sterile. They throw the ball around, and they're real cute.
Get out of the shop, Marjorie!
You look at the teams that get down in the dirt and grovel.
We booked out this entire restaurant for this.
Hey, they're Grabowski's.
Hi. contracts being signed, apparently. Or release statements, anyway. What? Because it's clearly auditions, yeah, and mass auditions, but there is no like.
Well,
look at the people and how they're dressed. There is no uniformity to any of it.
I appreciate the random dad in the middle.
Grabowski. Molly Breen Grabowski.
Kurt Schaefer Grabowski.
Michelle Wassinger Grabowski.
Ed Lusa Grabowski.
That's exactly what happened to us, Matt. For the entirety of the like 25-minute video or whatever, we were just like,
We're gonna see how
fuck?
you dance first. Rich Tufo is gonna come up, listen to your rap.
Because they're all so random and different,
Just to see how quick you are.
they don't offer any clues as to what it is about or what they're auditioning for. It is definitely an experience.
I'd like to have number 1, number 3, number 13, number 10, number 11, number 4.
Looks like a very warm room.
15 and number 14. Stay on stage. The rest of you, thank you very much.
You kept them locked.
Hi, Stephen J. Ehas Grabowski.
Laura Michelle Conchita Consuela Grabowski. Anna Martasowski Grabowski.
My name is Ronald James O'Neill Grabowski.
August Grabowski. Dressed for the occasion.
Drunk?
Hi, I'm Jason Solid Grabowski.
There was a very elderly man there briefly. There is no age limit.
Ernest William Ray, will you come back tomorrow, please? Valerie Meyer, you will come back tomorrow. August Doozer. Daryl Hudson. Mary Jo, tomorrow, please.
I mean, your next one will, Danny. We'll make
The thing
sure
that
you
surprised
get
me
one of
yesterday
those.
was that we had such a high quality group of the people who came in. I think it made our job a little rough yesterday because we didn't expect to have as many good people.
We didn't know who to keep.
Literally, it was
For
tough.
what? Keep for
and
what?
Looking at today's thing, is even rougher because there are hundreds of people lined up as a result of all the television coverage that we had yesterday and of all the press that hit the papers this morning. So I think we have a rough
Danny
selection
speaks like
job if the
caveman
quality's as
now.
high as yesterday.
He okay with that? He happy with I bend over? Oh no, that was getting racist, wasn't it? That was less Neanderthal and a little more Native American. Racist Native American.
All right, up on your
I
feet.
apologize. It was
Let's go
unintentional.
some, you're leaving. You ever heard that one before? Yeah. Me too. Me too. Me too. We're going to ask the.
I went
over.
He went over,
To remain
Danny.
with
He does
us.
not bend over.
Is he a
Number
wrestler?
10. Number 38.
I think it's like a Niagara Falls
Number
shirt or
40.
something. You know, like he went over the falls
Number
or something.
48.
You don't go over the falls.
Number
No,
57.
but it's something like that.
Number 63. Number 67. Number 120. And number 167. To the
I have
rest of
trouble
you,
reading those.
thank you
That is a
very,
mistake.
very much.
Excellent job.
It is era
It is
appropriate.
definitely error
You
appropriate.
listen
I'm
very
not.
carefully.
I'm not
We'd like
dissing it. That is
specific
a
answers
genuine.
He
to the
went
questions we
over.
ask.
I can't
Okay.
work out what's on his shirt.
The drunk guy's there.
Anybody caught BSing in any way, shape, or form after this part, okay,
Okay.
will be eliminated because of it.
If anyone bullshits, you'll be eliminated.
Give me a Grabowski honest answer.
Okay.
What makes you nervous, Larry?
Being one of the last 9 people to be chosen, I've never even dreamed of getting this far, actually.
What's the worst thing
I
that
do
ever
like
happened
that
to you
shirt,
in your
man.
life, Larry?
Oh,
Are you nervous?
Ken is having dreams in the other room.
I don't know. I guess I'm not used to this setting.
Tell me about yourself, George.
Okay. Whatever he said wasn't good enough, so
We
let's just
don't
fade
know,
to a mic.
Skywing. We don't know.
It's a hard job.
You ever killed anybody?
No.
You worried about this, Jason?
I'm worried.
Have you ever killed anyone?
What would it mean to you to become a Grabowski?
What's your perfect Sunday, and have you ever committed murder?
What makes you think you qualify to be a Grabowski?
I don't
I've never
know.
gotten knocked down far enough that I can't pick myself up or have somebody help me.
I've never been knocked down so far that I can't pick myself up or have somebody help me.
Dance routines. We had to.
I've
pretty
never
much
been
bare our
so
souls
badly
on
injured
stage.
that someone
It
hasn't
sounded
been
like
able to
everybody
save
just
my
a big
life,
bright
okay?
light and
So
asking questions. It sounded like I was talking to God.
you're talking
I didn't
to
even
God.
think I was gonna get this far.
Fantastic girl would walk in the door, you know, long blonde hair, bouncy tan figure that would knock anybody dead, and I'd be going, I'm going home, and no, you're not going home. That was, I think that's what got me every day.
Next thing you know, it was around what, 9, 10 o'clock at night, and they said that I
Well,
was.
don't
one of
ruin
the
it for yourself, Matt.
We
finalists.
went up
Wow,
on stage.
that is shocking.
They wanted us to sing, dance, and they kept calling people back who they wanted to see again. And
It's your drunk
just so
guy.
happened that 3 people in our group made it all the way.
I'm Phil Ponce. Chicago's latest musical sensations are
Did he say
unveiled.
I'm Phil
later in this
Pornstash?
He did not, but I did think he said music. It's a Chicago musical sensation. I mean, we've seen it, and I'm still baffled.
After going through 2 exhausting days of auditions, which many of you covered at the Riviera nightclub, and over 300 applicants for would-be Grabowskis, we then had personal interviews. We reviewed over 40 hours of tape, which we were shooting, sifted it down to 9 finalists. From the 9, we have picked our
They didn't
5 Grabowskis.
sift through 40 hours of
Pretty
tape.
excited about them. I
Well,
hope you
they
would.
didn't
They
show
had
us
random,
that.
I'm going to
but they
do
had
2
random
things
people
then
on
right
stage.
now,
Why
and
would you
that's
be watching
introduce somebody
videotape?
who needs no introduction, who will introduce 5 people who definitely
Maybe
do
people brought
need
in
an
tapes.
introduction. So Mike, would you take
Maybe it
over
was a
from here?
requirement you had to bring in a tape.
This is the group that's going to perform and on the video and on the record, and hopefully we make them famous. And as some of them said, maybe this
You
is their way of
definitely
getting on
did that,
MTV, and
sir.
also
They are definitely
maybe this
famous.
is their way to hit the jackpot.
Everybody knows
Everybody
them.
knows them.
Mr. Ditka's withholding his services here. I'm wondering if we could just get.
I'm also the agent for these people.
He's our spokesman.
It's so good that you just don't want to leave the cat out of the bag too soon.
Do any of you have professional dance or singing experience?
No.
It's so good that you don't want to let the cat out of the bag too soon. And in 2021, it's still too soon. So we still don't know. It's too good to let it out.
Ditka's star quality here that makes it's going to make this something special.
What we've seen so far is that he's one heck of a good rapper, and he's got smoking feet. So that's all I can tell you right now. And you're just going to simply have to wait till it comes
Who
out
has
to get the rest
smoking
of it.
feet? What? I still don't know what
We
a
picked
Grabowski is.
excellent people that really exemplify what we're trying to get across: the work ethic, the attitude of reaching for a dream. I mean, following a star. I mean, it's interesting. We took people from
Reaching
every
for a
walk of
dream,
life,
following
from a
a
guy
star.
who works construction, to an ex-policeman, to a waitress, to a moving guy, to a bodybuilder. I mean, we got people to do everything.
We have people who do everything. Now that is the opening line of a cat house, really, isn't it?
Where you're going to
Don't
use
worry,
music
sir.
from
We
out
have
of
people who
one
do
side of this
little bit
everything.
smaller or condensed version than you would.
Smoking Feet, is that your thing?
At the audition.
Please go and see Sharon.
Thus far, but still powerful enough, and you'll be hearing yourself rap and sing through there as we proceed with recording session, putting down your raps and the choruses and the refrains.
Now, I know they rap, but I don't remember any of the words, otherwise I would honestly rap along with them.
Didn't he do that good?
Yeah.
These are no longer headphones, they're Grabowski phones.
Where the
Everything you do from now
Grabowskis and
will be
where
Grabowski.
okay? No. That's not it.
Your first recording session.
What is it? Before they start, do you remember?
I don't remember.
We're Grabowski's wild and free.
Wild and
What
free.
you get is what you see.
Damn
We
it.
like to polka, we like to shuffle. We may wrinkle, but we don't ruffle.
I'd just like to say, Meeks was better than this when we had him in the private secret studio in the middle of the desert.
It's a dream come true right here.
Although
Well,
he
Meeks
had,
is a professional rap
I
artist.
was going to say, but he had about as much preparation time as these people did.
We're Grabowski's wild and free. What you get is what you see. We like to polka, we like to shuffle. We may wrinkle, but we don't ruffle. We like to work, we love to play. We do them both about
We
the same
wrinkle,
way.
but we don't ruffle. We like to work, we love to play.
We do them both about the same way.
Yeah. He's in a coma.
What?
We like to work, we love to play. We do them both about the same way. So on your feet, it's time to hustle. Let's all do the Grabowski shuffle.
Is it? Are they like trying to put together? I mean, clearly they're putting together a band of some sort.
We do them both about the same way.
Yeah, but what is a Grabowski? Because the Grabowski shuffle that they keep mentioning, right? Presumably the guy who was putting them together would be Grabowski, but he's not.
He's Mike Ditka.
Yeah. So what is a Grabowski? Because if you remember when we were watching it, we thought maybe it was like a drink, like a beer brand or something, and they were making an advert or something, but that's not what it is.
We are the Grabowskis, baby. Don't do nothing halfway. Don't believe in maybe. No, no. No, no.
Real good? Real good. What do you guys feel about it?
Great.
Sounds good.
Look out, world. Here comes Grabowski.
Sullivan's Funeral Home? Was that what that said? Some free advertisement
We
there?
all basically have the same type of outlook, even though we come from different backgrounds and different areas. We all seem to have something in common, which is a will to do something good.
I was really nervous. I think that has a lot to do with it, but I'm gonna pick it up. Gonna make it real good.
I can't believe we're this far already. We've already been here in the recording studio twice, and everything's just going so fast.
5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hitchhike. And left. And turn. 3, and jump. 4, 5, 6, 7. No, no. To range. No, no. Keep them like this once we get right. Once you're out, keep them there. So it's shoulder roll. Head goes left.
I forgot that he was shit and always drunk. I say while Cisco pours himself another drink.
Got it.
I wasn't referring to him, Anthony.
Punch up. Walk back. 1, 2, 3. And walk. And walk.
To be fair, the camera focuses on him to show you that he's
And
shit.
1, 2, 3. Right foot. Wild and free. What you get is what. Okay, everybody comes up. Is what you see. That's it. Good.
Don't look down, Jason. Look, always eyeball your audience.
Always look at your audience.
Tanked up guy, like making sure his muscles all show. He knows he's on camera.
But think about keeping the fist just
And nobody has explained at any point what
They
the-
never explain. I don't know if I ever want to know that, Husker. I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things I should never have an answer to. So if you wanted to buy it, Husker, you could. Please feel free to throw money at them.
Everyone is supportive of one another. It's like when you play ball together on a team, and one person supports another on the team, and you back one another, and you pull for the other individual.
I love them all. I think they're great. I think we're going to be a good team. We all get along well.
It's gonna be exciting.
And the Grabowskis.
Let's get the step.
He looks like a bad guy from The Running Man.
It was great up to there. Just nail the step. Here we go.
Like, seriously.
Word counts. Come on, we're having a good time.
Does he give you Jesse Ventura vibes?
Ooh.
I want Mike to see what's.
That's who it is, yeah. Jesse Ventura from the Running Man. Well, and wrestling fame, but specifically. Oh, he's in there. No.
Sort of. He's sort of there. Who are the others?
Surrounding them with people who actually can dance perfectly to, help.
Get enough sleep?
No.
I got home about 3 o'clock this morning, and I worked on the shot sheets for about an hour. Slept for about an hour, got up and worked on shot sheets, and then came over here.
Okay.
Oh.
That's it? We're not gonna do 20 more?
How was he to work with for you? A pleasure. I've had lots of people tell me that coach can be difficult at times. I've yet to run into one instance of that. What I have found is that he's got more talent than most people thought he would have in this particular area. This is where Mike.
Who are you talking about? You're talking about Mike.
By himself, he has to be able to dance. He has to be able to act. He has to be able to do some very, very special things, and he does them very well. I think you're going to be very surprised.
I remember when I was younger, I opened the refrigerator and do 5 minutes when the light came on. So, we all have a little show business in this.
What?
I don't know if Tom Selleck should give up his day job or not right now, but when I get my tap dancing down to go with my virtuosos.
Don't think Tom Selleck is quaking in his boots.
I got to think about a backup career. This football coaching's not that stable.
Football coaching is not that stable. Because you see, even that almost lends itself to say, like, this is a vanity project for him. But he's basically not in it.
For the front of the video package.
It's not telling you how great he is. It's all about these people that they've gathered to be
Or they're going to put it on the back shelf.
group.
Shoot! Oh my God! Quick!
Oh no, she is so uncomfortable with that.
Okay, this is a Polaroid, so we can see what everybody looks like. We need
That
some smiles
wasn't
here.
good.
Everybody happy.
Get wild here.
Get nuts.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Perfect. Happy, Mike.
You got it.
Right. Going, gone.
That's it.
It was fun. I could see where it couldn't have been fun if we wouldn't have had good people working, but I think for the amount of time we put in, I think it was a lot of fun because we had a good group of people, and I think it came off smoothly. And plus, Not
What?
that it even had to come off smoothly. I think it's because I think everybody really wants it to be something special, that everybody believes in it.
What?
What?
What are you talking about?
Okay, I was presenting it.
They proudly present the finished product. They steal the child.
Working for special team, we're working hard, more than a dream. Gang I want is tried and true. What they say is what they do. But sometimes rough, but never phony. Don't eat steak, then spit baloney.
Wasn't he in the...
Going tough. When it comes to fun,
Yeah, it was got the other ones didn't make it.
call them names, but
Maybe.
never shop them. This group is always in the action. Winning is their satisfaction. When they get going, folks will cheer. No column Smiths, they'll toss their beer. A gang like this, you'll never muffle. Meet the Grabowskis and do the shuffle. We're Grabowskis, wild and free. What you get is what you see. We like to bumper, we like to shuffle. We may wriggle, but we don't rumble. We like to work, we love to play. We do them both, not the same way. So on your feet, it's time to hustle. Let's all do the Grabowski shuffle. Here comes the
I appreciate the drunk guy just never stops wearing a hat.
They've had to put those together, and they're just not showing the other end so much.
I've been a Grabowski from the start. Takes plenty of work and plenty of heart. To be a Grabowski through and through, gotta show me you can and go out and do it. The more you try, the more you get done. Along
Hat
the
that
way,
has
you
Grabowski
gotta
on
have
it.
fun.
It was
Grab
just a
your
blank
partner,
hat before.
1 and 2. The Grabowski shuffle is just for you. We're Grabowskis, wild and free. What you get is what you see. We like to bumper, we like to shuffle. We may wriggle, but we don't rumble. We like to work, we love to play. We do them both, not the same way. So on your feet, it's time to hustle. Let's all do the Grabowski shuffle. We are the Grabowskis, baby. Don't do nothing halfway. Don't believe in maybe, no, no. Maybe, no, no. We are the Grabowskis.
Do you like the fact that the winners, other than Time Cube, mostly had large musical segments?
Just on your feet, I'm an ex-cop. Work like crazy, then bop to the drop. All I want each and every season is a team that wins and a beer that's squeezing.
Jackhammer George, I play it cool. Never a fool when I'm using my tool. I move the earth.
bet you are.
Never can tell when you find romance.
With a name like Jason, you gotta be tough. In my neighborhood, you prove your stuff. So I pump my body and I push my soul. Wanna be the monster of rock and roll. I'm a moving man. The name is Larry. Some of my moves are downright scary, but I call it straight like Mr. D. Ain't no job coming out of me.
My name is Bear the Grabowski gal, and I wish that Mike was more than a pal. I'm
Oh no! I wish that Mike was more than a pal.
You know who wrote that line, don't you?
Get off your bottom and reach for the top. Keep on shuffling and never stop. We're Grabowskis, wild and free. What you get is what you see. We like to bumper, we like to shuffle. We may wriggle, but we don't rumble. We like to work, we love to play. We do them both, not the same way. So on your feet, it's time to hustle. Let's all do the Grabowski shuffle. We are the Grabowskis, baby. Don't do nothing halfway. Don't believe in maybe, no, no. Maybe, no, no.
Yeah, a bunch of these were other people in their audition. Mike did get president. Oh no, some really bad green screening here. Stock footage! Oh. Well, I mean...
A typical Grabowski is everybody who's willing to dream a little bit and work toward that dream.
Thanks, Grabowskis. We're all very, very happy that you graced us today.
Yeah, Chroma Key. Yeah, that's from around the 30s that they brought it in. Jesus, that's got a lot of...
I was going to say, that's got a lot of blank space at the end.
So hang on, this wasn't even... This.
It's... No.
This is about 28 minutes.
27 when the hoobly dooblies came in. I'm starting to feel knackered like I do when we have to do this for real.
Well, here's the thing. I'm pretty sure we know the winner of these three.
Of these three, yes. However, we still clearly have plenty of time to go, so we may have to move on to Danny's greatest victory.
Yeah.
Do you want to call it now? Do you think it's going to be all up in Anthony's face and head and Matt? Or are we going to make fans of these two?
I think they could be, yeah. It's
difficult
this is
to
their
tell.
kind of shit.
It's difficult to tell with Matt because Matt is a bit of a hipster Matt, and sometimes the things you think he'll love, he fucking hates with a passion. But if anybody dislikes this, Danny will cry because this is the greatest as far as Danny is concerned.
greatest.
'Tis the greatest.
The greatest.
Danny's greatest hit.
10 face.
Damn right, 10 face. 10 face on top of Jasper, which, you know, is orcs. Alright, well, we'll make this the last one.
Wait, what? But
I don't think we have time for both.
We don't, but we can show them at least the stock.
No. We'll have to save... If we ever do Jasper's Wheel of Torment Fallout 2, it'll be the first one on that.
I'm sure people will beg us not to.
Because this is going to be a trip.
This is... What is it? It's 83.
1983. Right. You best prepare yourself. Ito, prepare yourself, because I know you had an issue.
Everybody prepare your asses.
Which Cisco says a lot in his day-to-day. Oh. This might be really loud. This might be really, really loud. I mean, already. I don't think Ito is prepared. I'm laughing already and nothing's happening yet. Get ready for it, the loop. Oh, I'm already grinning ear to ear. Oh, yes. Damn right. Good old Meredith Monk. Jim Parsons. Meredith Monk. Patrick Harris, clearly. And I honestly don't know. Hey, it's on Spotify. Get on that shit. Damn right she did. 2000. I was about to say 11, but that's not true.
Was it 2015?
You see this?
I went to the store, and then I went to the store, and then I went to
How can it know when tonight? Love or hate from Matt. This is going to get us a DCMA, you know.
I don't think this is copyrighted.
What do you mean? It's on Spotify. You can buy this album.
Can you?
Fuck yeah, you can. Everybody buy the Little Dreams. Oh. We were so disappointed. Meredith Monk released an album in 20...
The sudden spell out.
She released an album in 2020 and Danny and I were so disappointed. It's just music. Regular, normal music. It's just regular music, Anthony. It's quite dull. I won't spoil your night by letting you know, Anthony. You can experience it like we did. Oh yeah, she's a serious composer. Well, I don't know if serious is the right term, but she's a prolific composer. Dead Ninjas!
Why? Why dead ninjas?
You don't want live ninjas.
Yes,
I wouldn't be autistic. Oh, sorry.
Are they laughing at the dead ninjas?
And introducing said turtle. Or did I spoil it? Hey! Ito, how could you have voted against this? Seriously, Ito.
I stand by my decision on the other one. This is still funny.
You're a madman, Ito. No appreciation of the arts, is all I'm saying. You didn't like Netta winning Eurovision either, Ito. You're not allowed to comment. You said it was the worst thing you'd ever heard, and you called her Chicken Lady.
Oh, we're back. Oh, their dance moves have advanced. Here's the thing, Cisco, I legitimately listened to the entire album again on Spotify. With the sirens in as well.
It's all in there. It's amazing. Ted ninjas!
There's three now. They've killed another one.
You gotta dispose of them somehow.
Okay, why are there dead ninjas in a turtle dream?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Cisco, get on it. Predates it. This inspired it.
You think, okay, so basically if you had no turtle dreams, there would be no Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Novus, TMNT was a knockoff of Turtle Dreams. Sorry, Jim Parsons is having a moment. Fucking tiring. I feel sorry for anybody who doesn't know what's happening right now.
In fairness, we don't know what's really happening.
Went to the hell to? What are you talking about? Dead Ninja.
Just the one. Two dead ninjas. Another dead
So just to let everybody know, so all the cards are on the table. The next wheel of Jasper's Torment Fallout, you're gonna get more Meredith Monk, okay? I'm just gonna tell you now. Be scared or be hyped, whichever is appropriate.
I think it was safe to say the discussion about which was the best Meredith Monk was one of the most hotly debated.
It was a heated
discussions we had when trying to pick winners You're watching a Turtle's Dreams. So,
no, you're wrong. No, you don't get this at all.
No, of course not.
She had dreams about her turtle.
Okay, why did she have dead ninjas in her dreams about turtles?
TMNT!
Why was she going to the store?
She goes to the store, and she goes to the helitape. Okay, just get on it. This wipes out
We're talking about words.
What
are you singing about? We're singing about words.
This wipes out Wellmania for me, musically speaking. This starts a resonance in the back of your head that doesn't stop. It resonates in your brain. Of Katrina and the Waves.
Which she'd have to be chosen to represent it. She can't be famous across the world.
Like Katrina and Katrina and the Waves.
Yeah, we cheated.
Yeah, so we can cheat again, get Meredith Monk in. As long as she goes back to her 70s and 80s stuff. Because Danny was not a fan of the 2020 stuff. Yes, it does.
weren't sure whether Matt and Anthony's reaction. We thought they'd either love it or hate it, and apparently we got an even split.
Anthony, really? I'm trying to drink here.
Oh wait, they're moving
Sure. Neil Patrick Harris needs help. Bees! Fucking bees! Every now and again they harmonize, and it's really like distracting because then they lose it, and you're waiting for them to lose the harmony immediately. Where did you go, Meredith? Where?
Still going. So you need to get stoned and watch
Yes.
this.
Yes.
This would be a fucking trip while stoned. What the?
Jim Parsons is having a fit. Whale Lord! Nom 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 nom!
Ito just got erect.
We're ruining Wheel Lord for him.
This isn't choreographed, is it? This
That's
is just
it,
them
Anthony.
spazzing out.
Just for that, I'm going to replace all the sound bites of Meredith Monk's Turtle Dreams.
Please don't.
You know, I'm definitely having I went to the store. And Meeks is all for it.
Ninjas.
In case you'd forgotten.
Oh.
Yay! Post-apocalyptic turtle time.
I have no idea, Anthony. I'm lost. I would see it.
Spoilers, but you're getting close. But yes, it will loop in your mind forevermore. Look, look, look.
I'm very careful and only pouring very small glasses.
Fucking massive to eat though.
Very small glasses.
That's what I tell people just before they come, Danny. For their surprise ejaculation. Spoilers, but you're about to come, Danny.
It's on the moon.
Turtles on the moon! That quote definitely needs editing to say turtle dreams, doesn't it? Quoted during turtle dreams.
I think it's just about finished now, isn't it?
You're getting the bass now, Cisco.
It is, it's finished.
Turtle dreams. And Meeks loves the racism. It's not even racism. Meeks loves the
Eye/hands.
Meeks loves the racist sounding names.
They're just people's names.
The video director. is all about Ping Chong. Spoilers, but you will see Ping Chong again in the future.
It's quite a long...
Massachusetts Council of the Arts and Humanities. That's who you have to... There you go. 1983. The year before I was born. For all you know, Turtle Dreams summoned me to this world. Doom, 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 doom.
Hell of a song to be conceived to.
Well, I didn't say I was conceived by it. I'm just saying it itself manifested me. Right. That, there's no way. You couldn't handle the next one after that. You can't do that and that back to back.
It's like
you
watching
would
two
die.
Neil Breens,
You
one
would,
after the other.
You would
can't
cease
do
to.
it.
You wouldn't die. You would cease to have ever existed. So, technically, you all survived the fallout of Jasper's Wheel of Torment.
But we do have to ask a question. The other reasons for not doing the next one, Husker, is it's about half an hour long and there's only quarter of an hour left to stream.
And these are fucking tiring. Yes, the question we do actually have to ask is which of the videos you've seen today are the winner? Which is the best? Because they all won their respective nights of Jasper's Wheel of Torment.
Yeah, they're all, you know, they run that. They won their round.
Yeah.
And now
Their
this is the
respective-
final. This is the final of the tournament.
Oh, the first final of Jasper's Wheel of Torment.
So we've
fallout.
got one for Worm Woman, one for Turtle Dreams, one for Time Cube. Ito's abstaining.
Yay, nice one, Husker.
I think the criteria is whichever you like the most.
Yeah, it's literally it. It's which one do you think is the best? You personally, for whatever reason.
Oh, so we've got 2 for the Time Cube.
Danny obviously votes Turtle Dreams, though.
Well, you got 2 for Turtle Dreams so far. Danny hasn't voted. Okay.
Yes, he has. Turtle Dreams.
3 for Turtle Dreams. 2 for the Time Cube.
None for the Shuffle.
You know, I mean...
1 for Wormmania. Anthony is all about the worm woman from Kalamazoo. And she speaks for the worms.
You missed... I think you arrived for the most weird... The one where we laughed the most. That's certainly... That we didn't laugh as much with the other videos. The Time Cube is almost a full hour of an insane old man explaining his theories on the world.
Incomprehensible nonsense.
Yeah.
And Santa evolved into God, and children died.
No, God evolved from Santa.
Sorry, Santa evolved into God. That's what I said, yeah. You're just drunk. You don't
I'm
know
just
what I'm talking
reversing. Well, not reversing it. I'm
saying the
changing
same thing.
but in a different way. And you missed the Grabowski shuffle.
Have
which,
you ever seen a leaf disappear into the ground?
And you missed Wormmania.
There was
which
probably a worm, a dragon
that leaf down.
See when a worm was to find something.
Ooh, wow. Turtle Dreams has taken a commanding lead, I think, now. It's got
Turtle Dreams
4?
is the best, quite frankly.
Time Cube's got 2. Wormmania just has Anthony.
But what are we talking about?
We're talking about Worm. That's the song I will remember, though. The Meredith Monk one is more fever when you're like when you're really ill and you're tossing and turning, you're covered in sweat. That song will suddenly appear in your brain and just keep going.
What do you mean when I have a fever? It's in my brain now. It's going to keep me company all night long.
Suppose we could have put an actual vote up and just made it easy.
I love the fact you say make it easy. Twitch does not make any of this easy.
Can you have a poll with 4 things?
I think because it's... Okay, hang on. I think that's how it's actually made. Do I even bother putting Grabowski Shuffle
Yeah,
up?
you put it up, but nobody's voting for it, let's face it. Yeah, okay.
Oh no! Fine, that'll do. And
5 minutes. Oh, 3 minutes.
You want 5? Fuck it. You're getting
3
3.
minutes. 3 minutes.
You're getting 3. And the poll is win. Alright, get your votes in. Oh, good people.
Do we get to vote, or?
Yeah, you can vote if you want to vote. Everybody do the voting. Take a look at chat. Because I don't think it actually tells people.
Well, at the moment, oh no, Turtle Dreams. Strong showing from Romania.
I'm not showing any favoritism other than the fact that Turtle Dreams is obviously the best. But other than that, in my musical accompaniment of the vote, I am not showing favoritism. We're doing giggly both. Right? Is that it? Do you think that's the way it's gonna fall? Has everybody voted? Ito would rather not vote because he's a killjoy. Ito's just bitter that none of the ones that he's picked have ever won. Boobity-boom boom. I said worms.
Anthony, you just like things hung.
It's made in time. I said worms.
Making worms.
Oh, did I just get Wormmania another vote? Alright. Alright. And the
Turtle
winner
Dreams
is Turtle Dreams. So would you like a vote breakdown? Not really. So the vote breakdown is as follows. You ready? There were 5 votes by 5 voters, and that's how it won. Well, thank you for that. Thanks for the breakdown, Twitch. Alright. So, the winner, the overall winner so far, because I mean we're going to end up doing this again, of Jasper's Wheel of Torment.
The winner of this episode.
Of the first fallout from Jasper's Wheel of Torment is Turtle Dreams, and rightfully so, I would say.
It'll be a while before we do another one of these for several reasons. First of all, we don't want to constantly stream this sort of stuff. We are supposed to be making more gaming stream.
And you've only got one other video, so we're obviously going to have to gather them.
Yeah, we do. We sifted through 12 awful videos to pick out those 4 to bring you the best of this garbage.
The shit. The horrible crap. Keep in mind, like, this is funny, but when we actually get together to do this, a lot of these videos are an hour and 50 or 2 hours long of mind-numbing, boring crap where someone is trying to convince you that science isn't real, and it's funny for the first 5 minutes, and then you go, this has been on for about half an hour, so let's check the time. Holy shit, it's been 5 fucking minutes. Like, here, spoilers, right? We were watching one which sounded like it was going to be amazing, and I think it was Danny's selection, and he got it on the spin.
Yeah.
And it was how to develop, strengthen, and give yourself psychic powers. And it sounded like it was going to be fucking hilarious.
That sounds amazing.
And we're like, yes, we're all about this. About 5 minutes in, when everybody is sick of their life. And then, how much longer has this got to go? And we're looking at this. There's 57 minutes left of this.
It's safe to say none of us developed any psychic powers.
We tried and failed. Like, some of them I'm thinking I might add to a backup list where we can play as much as the stream can handle before they want to shoot themselves, and then set up a vote to kill it. Like, kill this one, move on to the next. Because Ito got one, I forgot what it's called, but it was basically a self-defense video. Except it wasn't actually a self-defense video, it was just a sales video of them trying to sell you their product.
Buy pepper spray.
Basically, buy our pepper spray was what the thing was, but it was amusing for a bit, but started to grate after a while. And we're like, well, we possibly could show this one on stream, but you know what? Maybe we can have the fallouts of the Fallout at some point, and we can have all the ones that almost made it, because we've mentioned before. I'm not mentioning their names because I'm keeping them for potential future streams. But that one with the salt is just beginning's great, middle is a brain rotting smog of nothing, ending is hilarious. Right, well, you know what, we've gone up pretty much to midnight anyway, even though I said we would end after Turtle Dreams because everyone will be dead. Turtle Dreams is still worth it, and I am going to purchase Turtle Dreams and put it right next to Chronicles of the Wasteland, which is the soundtrack to Turbo Kid, and they're going to sit side by side. So Anthony can quantum hate me. He can love me and hate me at the exact same time, or neither, or both. Right. What did I... Oh no, I had Bear lined up, so I can't play that. I was going to say, I think I've got you singing that lined up as a video, but I don't. I had the Bear chant. And I'm on a different window anyway with Jasper's Wheel of Torment, so... I hope you've enjoyed the fallout of the misery that we have been inflicting on ourselves. All because of, the pandemic isn't miserable enough. You have to really push the boat out to make yourself miserable. If you're stuck at home alone, like some are during the pandemic, no names mentioned, but Ito, etc., and you really, really want to make yourself happy that you're home alone and haven't seen anybody in months, all you have to do is turn to Jasper's Wheel of Torment. It was a thing to try and make people feel less alone, and all we did was make them miserable and hate the world. But also we got Turtle Dreams out of it, so all worth it! Hey! And fine for the last couple of minutes because Ito has suffered... Oh, he suffered. The sound bites are back on, and yes, we do have coffee. Boom. Interesting that.
Oh, we got coffee?
The bear.
It's a whale long.
Chant was the first.
Nom, 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 nom.
Nom, nom, nom.
Okay.
Are you ready? Are you ready for bed? Are you?
Well, I was. There was a request I was going to. I felt after people have put up with this, I feel I should. At least
Oh my god!
honor that request. Well, I was letting people do their sound bites.
No, that's not.
You are
fair.
such a
But-
moon. Moon. Moon Mon. Danny is a Digimon.
Actually, I'm so tired.
Boom. Oh, we should definitely say actually before we finish stream, tomorrow is the premiere of
Episode 4.
Bad Movie Mountain episode 4 on YouTube. That'll be starting at 9. We think it's going to be a Hat a day. Honestly, I haven't spoken to Hat all week. I haven't spoken to Thorn all week. I've spoken to no one because we've been ridiculously busy, and Cisco's also been ill. Well, Cisco has also had symptoms. It's not right to say he's been ill. He had symptoms of the COVID vaccine. Again, that is not bad mouthing the vaccine. Everybody should go and get it for obvious reasons.
Just beware it does.
For some people
have a pretty bad reaction to it, and I was one of them.
So I've spoken to none of them, but we assume we will see Hat tomorrow. We don't know. Okay, Cisco, do the thing that you want to do before we sign out for the evening.
Well, this was a request by Husker, and I feel I should honour it.
Is it the Wormania song?
No.
Oh, then I can't join. For Anthony, I would have.
Oh my God, no! Well, Anthony didn't request it. All you gotta do is look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities, one of Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, I couldn't be fonder of my big home. The bees are buzzing in the tree to make some honey just for me. When you look under the rocks and plants and take a glance at the fancy ants, then maybe try a few. The bare necessities of life will come to you. They'll come to you. Boop, boop. That's all I'm doing.
There you go. That's the closest I can get.
Was that Turtle Thoughts?
Total Thoughts. Okay, good night, everybody. We will see you tomorrow 9 p.m. GMT on YouTube
for the
to see if it buffers and kills everything.
And then
Meeks is super excited.
And as soon as it finishes, we'll be back on stream gaming
something.
Probably Space Dwarves.
Maybe
for Hat.
Well, that's if we can. That's if we can find Hat.
If we can find Hat, yes.
Hat may have wandered off to the Turtle Dreams and be with Meredith Monk making music for all we know. We haven't spoken to him for a week. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Boo, boo, boo.